let's not turn women into snowflakes. Let's not infantilize women. I don't want it to get to a place that men start to think, well, maybe it's just better not to have women around. I've heard a little bit of that, and it worries me.
Or you have these unbelievable, hardcore, inhumane rules where you can't talk to them or you can't have an office near them, and it's back to 1930s, I guess, rules. Joining us now is Kimberly Guilfoyle. Kimberly is the same Kimberly Guilfoyle. You're the same one from The Five, right?
They say I resemble her.
Right. So I believe you are the same one.
For your show.
Yes. So how are you, Kimberly?
Fantastic. You had a great show this morning, as usual.
Well, thank you. Before we get to the issue at hand, you decided to make a decision to help the quality of life off camera. You've moved your office away from mine.
Yes.
Why was I not consulted on this? I had construction people here who were going to have a breezeway and extend it and try to add a foyer, and then you just moved out.
Can you believe it? It was like, I think it was a good run. Was it 10 years?
Yes.
I don't know. But you took a little long, but it wasn't a shovel-ready project. So I was really skeptical, in fact, dubious that it was going to happen.
Right.
So I decided to move down over the other end by Sean Hannity.
You know what? I don't blame you. He always brings a lot of class to the neighborhood. Something I never was able to bring. But let's talk about.
If only you could clean your office, then we'd really be doing something good. Okay.
So we've been watching and chronicling over the last year the Me Too movement take shape, and we watch it in Hollywood, soon to be in Wall Street, certainly in television and media, and now we're starting to see some people begin to push back. We just heard Condoleezza Rice weigh in and said, I worry about us an overcorrection. Legally and personally, do you worry about what she worries about?
Yeah, I think it was just really well stated. We talked about it on The Five, yesterday, that, Condi has just a good sense of things. And some people might be afraid to say it because you don't want to say that you're not supporting women, be part of this movement. We want certainly victims of any kind of crimes or sexual harassment or assault to come forward, and we don't want them to be silenced. However, you worry a little bit that there might be a backlash, and I don't want there to be a chilling effect where then people might have a hesitation or a slight kind of inherent bias to say, well, do we need this kind of issue? Because I really don't want to, put backwards any of the progress that women have been able to make, in the workplace and getting jobs. And I always believe that, the right person should get the job based on their skill set, merit, qualifications, et cetera, resume, past experience. And so you worry if that's going to happen. And then other people say, well, maybe I should take this guy or take someone else because I don't want any problems.
You make mandates. You cannot date anybody at work. I remember NBC came out and said, if you're having an affair, you got to go say it now, handle it now. You got a certain amount of time. You got to come in and report anybody you're dating. So, are we going to get to that point where you have oppressive companies looking to watch their themselves legally or getting into your personal life?
Yeah, I think that you are, and there's some rhetoric in employee handbooks about all of this, and talking about relationships or in the workplace and what you'd report or what you'd disclose, and if someone is your superior, et cetera. So it can get pretty dicey. You have to be very careful about that. And of course, corporations going forward want to limit their liability and exposure from lawsuits, and we've seen so much of that. It's very sort of active in the legal marketplace right now, to the point where you've got to sift through things, and there's got to be some due process, and especially we've seen with all the different allegations coming forward, and a lot of people getting dismissed right away before they had any due process. So it's not the same protections as you see, in a court of law, but they all operate within the fear of the law and of lawsuits.
So you got this story about this Aziz Ansari, this actor who evidently was on a date and the woman wasn't happy with the way it ended, and she's making these accusations about him. He has a different take, and he's wondering, is this going to destroy my career because I had a date that went wrong, or did something really go wrong? You need a woman to stick up for him, and in this case, it happened on CNN Headline News. Here's Ashley Banfield, cut 28.
If you were sexually assaulted, go to the cops. If you were sexually harassed, jeopardizing your work, speak up and speak out loud. But by your own descriptions, that is not what happened. You had an unpleasant date and you did not leave. That is on you. And all the gains that have been achieved on your behalf and mine are now being compromised by the allegations that you threw out there. And I'm going to call them reckless and hollow.
And she is a lawyer, Ashley Banfield, and she's worried that the legitimate movement's going to be halted because of dicey claims.
Well, right, because you have to look, there's like a built-in financial incentive, right, for people to try to make a claim or do a settlement, especially you see with like the speed that companies and organizations say, okay, an accusation is enough without any essential due process to blow somebody out. I mean, you've seen some pretty quick exits, as of late in a lot of big corporations and networks and whatnot. So, I think it's a brave, courageous point to make. It's not necessarily like popular one to make, right? Because then you'll say, okay, you get accused. There's backlash against you if you say, okay, well, you're not being supportive of women or you're calling people out. But I think it's a real problem because, you worry about the people that are opportunists that might come forward and ruin lives and try to make a statement for some other, an allegation for some other, reason, interest, vendetta, pecuniary, interest, something like that.
And lastly, Kimberly, what about a woman that comes forward and goes ahead and sues or comes forward with a press conference to announce what happened to them in the workplace, and maybe they do get some money, but they want to continue their career? You wonder about companies who say, I'm not going to take that woman. Like, she had a problem at her last job, and it doesn't seem to be her fault, but I don't want the headache. That's the risk, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the problem. And I mean, here's what I do like about this is that people are actually talking about it. I was actually kind of surprised that you would see this pushback in the other direction because there's so much fear to even bring this issue up or to try to discuss it because you don't want to see that you're somebody that doesn't support women and girls or men, making allegations or statements about what has happened to them, because you saw that in Hollywood with a lot of the actors, et cetera. And then all of a sudden everybody started coming forward, and it's sort of been kind of like the cause du jour, where it's like one day after the next, you see this. And so I just really hope that this doesn't continue to spiral. And as a former prosecutor and an attorney, I want to make sure that there are safeguards and protections and that there's some kind of process by which these claims and cases can be evaluated and vetted for their authenticity and credibility, because, it really does affect a lot of people's lives. And you got to be careful with the things that are going forward here to vet it.
As does the Five. The Five has not picked their topics yet. Is that correct?
That is correct. We are waiting. It should be in within the next hour and a half. Are you missing being on there? I'm
going to be on in, I don't know, maybe in a couple of weeks. But Kimberly, for the one more thing, can I suggest you plug this radio show?
Yeah, would you like that?
Right.
Absolutely. You're doing so fantastic that I'm always happy to help out. And again, I missed you already on that hall. Sorry, I had to go get a bigger office.
Yeah. So I guess in this case, well, I'm not going to say it. I knew I would have said it earlier, but
now you're throttling back.
I am throttling back because I want to survive. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Thank you, Kimberly Guilfoyle. I'll see you later on the Five. Now go about your day. Coming up next, reporting for duty, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, 1-866-408-7669. 10 minutes drive to that. It's all about you.
Keeping you informed and up to date.
13 children held captive in their home.
Children range in age from 2 to 29.
The alleged house of horrors.
Incoming missile, and we're like, what?
Will not happen again.
The news and talk station for St. Louis.
Ours is not a old country.
He is a racist. I'm telling you, he did not use that word.
I stand behind every word that I said.
FM News Talk 97.1.
I certainly didn't hear what Senator Durbin has said.
Younger, smarter.
Will not vote for government funding.
Better.
97.1 News Time, 11:30. Good morning, I'm Jason Church. Currently, the Dow is up 149 points and the NASDAQ is up 19 points. The family of a missing St. Louis musician is hoping for his safe return. Nathan Jotko has not been seen or heard from since last Thursday. He's well known on the local jazz circuit and has played with several bands in the St. Louis area. His family says that he disappeared without a trace. He drives a white 2009 Toyota Matrix with Missouri license plates WK1C2H. You're asked to call St. Louis police if you have any information as to his whereabouts. A woman was carjacked yesterday while picking up a pizza order outside of the Emos on 4th Street downtown. The victim said that she was shoved by a man who approached her from behind and demanded her keys. The suspect told her not to look at him and drove off in her vehicle. Describing the Cardinals' 2018 roster as, quote, strong and, quote, improved, principal owner Bill DeWitt suggested yesterday that the organization has wrapped up the bulk of its winter work. This news update brought to you by RP Lumber, best service, best value.
Ameren, Missouri is proud to light the way in the communities we serve. And not just through the street lamps dotting our neighborhoods, but also by helping educate the next generation about the wonders of science and technology, providing a helping hand to those in need, and exploring innovative energy solutions so that tomorrow is a little cleaner than today. Transforming the future of our community by lighting the way. That's energy at work. Learn more at AmerenMissouri.com/community.
Black Rifle Coffee, a company created by Special Forces veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan that spent their time between cups of coffee stacking bodies so you could enjoy your mocha latte. Hi, this is Sig Glockencolt from Tactical. We're proud to be the first and only dealer of Black Rifle Coffee in St. Louis. Stop by and get yourself a cup or a bag of Freedom Fuel, coffee or die, or caffeinated as fuck. Available in whole bean, ground, or K-Cups. We promise you won't be embarrassed by some liberal putz when ordering. Tactical Highway 70 in St. Peters or shop.tactical.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for Rock and Jump in O'Fallon, Missouri. It is 30,000 square feet of clean, safe fun, including trampolines, dodgeball, rock climbing, basketball dunking, stunt bag jousting, a ninja course. This is the place for kids and teenagers to have birthday parties. There's free Wi-Fi, free lockers, comfortable seating, great pizza, drinks, snacks for adults and kids, even massage chairs. They strive for a Disney-like environment, a Chick-fil-A level of customer service. They really, truly try harder. PTO, schools, bands, sports teams, fundraisers. They have tweens and teens evenings on Fridays and neon Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So many things to love. Mention the DGS and get $25 off your birthday party package. Call 636-321-4024 or visit O'Fallon.rockandjump.com. That's ROCKIN, O'Fallon.rockandjump.com.
Ever had an obstructed view at a show or an event?
This is so amazing.
What's so amazing? I can't see around this concrete column. That's what it's like relying on checking your credit to protect you from identity theft. You get a limited view.
She looks beautiful.
Who looks beautiful? You might detect credit changes, but you can miss threats, like someone getting an online payday loan in your name or selling your personal information on the dark web.
Did you see that?
See what? The concrete? With LifeLock, you can see more. We use proprietary technology to detect a range of identity threats, and if you have a problem, a U.S.-based identity restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock can alert you to threats you could miss.
Told you this was worth seeing.
You are killing me. Memberships start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Now get 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code NEWS. That's promo code NEWS. LifeLock. More detection, more protection.
The Mark Cox Show.
Tuesday, the president's being labeled a racist by many in Congress. We'll talk it over with Chris Arps. And if you had trouble with your iPhone lately, we'll tell you about the latest lawsuit filed against Apple.
Now, weekdays noon to 3 on FM News Talk 97.1.
The Brian Kilmeade Show, live from Aphrodite Granite Studios. Highest quality the industry can offer for your bar top, for your kitchen countertops, and everything in between. Aphrodite Granite, the smartest way to buy countertops. Hey, it's Brian Kilmeade with great news. Now you can get 97.1 in 2 additional places on the dial. FM 98.7 and AM 1490.
Truth you demand. This is the Brian Kilmeade Show.
In just 4 months last year, more than 4,000 Afghan soldiers and police were wounded, another 2,500 killed.
Salam alaikum.
Since then, Ghani has refused to reveal casualty figures. As you'll see, it's a sensitive subject.
Your soldiers and your policemen are dying in unprecedented numbers.
Indeed.
How long can that be sustained?
Until we secure Afghanistan.
How long is that? How long until you secure
it takes? Generations, if need be.
The U.S. isn't going to be here for generations.
We will be here for generations. We do not need others to fight our fights.
people in this country say that if the U.S. pulled out, your government would collapse in 3 days.
From the resource perspective, they're absolutely right. We will not be able to support our army for 6 months without U.S. support and U.S. capabilities.
Did you just say that without the U.S. support, your army couldn't last 6 months?
Yes, because we don't have the money.
American taxpayers bankroll 90% of Afghanistan's defense budget. That's more than $4 billion a year.
That is Lara Logan doing a great job giving us the latest on the ground in Afghanistan. And we do have seeming to have the right general in place and a new battle plan, but right now it looks grim. Even in Kabul, where they're really surrounded by blast walls and now have to ferry people back and forth via chopper when we used to be able to drive. Where is this war going, and where do we go from here? Joining us now, Lieutenant Colonel Allen West spent considerable time in Afghanistan himself, also as a private contractor. Colonel, when you saw that, or as you heard that right now, what are your thoughts?
Well, it really does, take you aback, because I remember the time that I was there in Afghanistan, 2005, 2007. We were pretty much so turning the corner, but then we turned a lot of it over to NATO. As a matter of fact, southern Afghanistan was between the Romanians, the British, the Dutch, and the Canadians. We started to see things slip away. And furthermore, we lost control of the border crossings into Pakistan, which is what the enemy uses. They launched from Pakistan. That's the base of operations. We need to see this truly as an international mission and not just an American mission, because when you think about the preponderance of Islamic jihadist groups and training and organizations, that's where it is emanating from, that area of Southwest Asia that we know is the border between Pakistan, Afghanistan, and down Karachi and what have you. So I think we need an international emphasis, not just an American emphasis, because this is the hotbed of jihadism. Well,
so the president's going to change gears. He is denying $250 million to Pakistan. He told them they got to get their act together. He does not believe they're sincerely protecting us, nor that they're guarding the border, where the ISI is different from the Pakistani army. And he is changing the rules of engagement, prompting the general to say this.
Do you have everything you need?
Yeah, with the new policy, I do.
This is it, right? I mean, there's no more. This is the end game.
Yes, this is the end game. This is a policy that can deliver a win.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things, is that you have to trust the commanders on the ground, allow them to employ their resources as they need. I think that one of the things that we failed with as far as the Afghanistan security forces is to try to build up a massive army, much the same as our army. I think that when we looked at the Afghan commando organizations, those are very specialized battalion-sized organizations. I think that we've seen more success there. The Afghanistan National Police, the ANP, corruption is just rampant within the ranks of the ANP, and that's one of the things that has been a tough nut to crack. And I think really that's the big thing that we have to overcome, is that culture of corruption, which you're not going to be able to fix anytime soon, maybe anytime ever. But if we don't deal with the influence of Pakistan into that region, we're just going to be chasing our tail. And hopefully, finally, we will be able to do that. We have got to understand that if the enemy does not respect borders or boundaries, sadly, we're not going to have to respect borders or boundaries. And if we have a country like Pakistan that knowingly provides sanctuary to these organizations, then we need to cut the ties with them.
Obviously, we might have done that. China has moved in already, as we have said we were going to move out, but there's been no cataclysmic talk, and there's been no wild statements from the Pakistani government. Just an emergency meeting. They summoned our ambassador, and then things have gotten quiet. But it's just the status quo does not work. And they have safe haven where they can vacation in Pakistan. They rearm, reboot, and come back. They actually train to take out our guys. But I worry that 1,000 isn't enough. Not that I want this to be another 25 years, but I worry that 1,000 with the different rules of engagement, even with the mega bombs that we drop from time to time and the new policy in Pakistan, I worry that this general is just saying what allows him to keep the job, and plus he's in a get-it-done attitude.
Well, I think that the actions have to speak far louder than the words. If you're saying that there will be no safe havens, there will be no sanctuaries, then you have to follow that up. So that if someone lays down to arrest themselves over in Pakistan, they wake up dead. That has to be the message that is sent. And the Pakistanis and the ISI, they have to understand that it was an affront to us as the United States of America that we went over and there was Osama bin Laden in the town of Abbottabad, which is, kind of like West Point. Their military academy is there. You cannot tell me that folks did not know in that huge compound who was out there living at the time, and the Pakistanis did not know. So we have to start looking at people and being more showing more resolve, just the same as with Iran or North Korea. We cannot have this strategic patience. We cannot, as General Sullivan, the former chief of staff of the Army, used to say, hope is not a method. We're going to have to start taking some real hard, serious actions.
So today, we have leaders of the Free Syrian Army meeting in Washington where they'll meet with White House officials and talk about continuing to get financing in Syria. This 24 hours after the Russians and Turks have both told us, stop financing and supporting the Kurds, and we will drown them regardless. So what should our policy in the new Syria Kurdish region be?
Well, I have always been a firm supporter of establishing a separate, independent Kurdistan. I think that they are a strong ally, and we can lay down some serious conditions. But if you're going to do anything to stem the flow of the Iranian hegemonic expansion there, to also keep Turkey and Erdogan, who is not a friend of the United States nor Israel, at bay, it is to strengthen our relationships with the Kurds, who have done incredible things in supporting us, especially in this recent fight against ISIS. But again, the big linchpin in this, if we could support some type of rebellion, this revolt that you see going on in Iran, that will really reduce Iran's ability to, support and prop up Bashar al-Assad, support and prop up Hamas, Hezbollah, and even, send their nuclear weapons and missile technology over to Kim Jong-un, and it will cause them to shrink and retract. So I think that should be the strategic perspective, is how we can put more pressure and we can support the revolution that we see happening in Iran right now.
Spanish Korea, fascinating story also on 60 Minutes last night, how Los Alamos lead scientist was able to go and see the progress they're making with thousands of centrifuges spinning and their own plutonium production. He was able to see it up close and personal. So now that the North and South are talking and that they are legitimate nuclear worries about North Korea, not bloviating and not hyperbole. What do you think, Colonel, as we get ready for the Olympics, the Winter Olympics?
Well, I think once again that this is enabling Kim Jong-un to, buy more time, to, somewhat seem to be an accommodating person or someone that wants to have peace, open up the talks that haven't happened in quite some time with his South Korean brethren. But let's also remember that he's been kind of forced into this position because we showed resolve. We showed a little bit of toughness. And so that has kind of made him take a step back. But they're going to continue to do exactly what they're doing. We have to make sure that we have a credible military deterrent if we're going to have a successful foreign policy. And very important, we have to make sure that South Korea and Japan are on board with that. And we need to look at other allies that we can build, because the most important linchpin in that area is to delegitimize the support that China is giving to North Korea. And we just intercepted, the Chinese ships that were carrying oil shipments there to North Korea illegally.
What are your chances as a former member of the House? What do you think the chances of Republicans holding it?
Look, I tell you, if the Republicans cannot hold the House and the Senate, then something's wrong. Because without a doubt, what you're seeing with the Democrat Party, number one, they're a party without a message other than hate Donald Trump. And when we're looking at this impending, quote-unquote, government shutdown, the message is very simple. The Democrats would rather hold this country hostage over an unconstitutional executive order that was given by Barack Obama to protect illegal immigrant children than to make sure we have a secure border, to end these insidious visa programs that we have, and also to stop these sanctuary cities and sanctuary state policies and programs. But most importantly, they would rather us, we're talking about military issues here, they'd rather us continue to see a weakened military over 700,000 illegal immigrant children. That's not a winning message.
Colonel, thanks so much. Also, Democrats Democrats need a message, and Republicans need stronger candidates. Democrats have done one thing pretty strong. They've already gotten 6 former special operators to become Democrats and run for House seats. So they're trying to tap into the pro-law enforcement military mindset that Republicans have had a good time in the past, had success in the past attracting.
Well, in 2006, the Democrats did the exact same thing. You know, Joe Sestak, former admiral, Navy admiral, Patrick Murphy, former Army JAG officer, because they wanted to try to show that they had military people that would speak out against the war in Iraq. And they were successful in 2006, but I don't think that they can go back to that same well. I know that Seth Moulton out of Massachusetts is leading that effort, but right now, if you are someone that served in the military, I would ask you very simple. Do you want to be a part of a party that in their last Democrat National Convention, they booed a Medal of Honor recipient as he stood on stage?
Great point. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Colonel Allen West.
Always a pleasure. You take care, Brian.
All right. Thanks so much. 1-866-408-7669. So when we come back, weigh in. The Me Too movement has begun to wrangle in innocent people and begin to maybe make CEOs reluctant to maybe hire some women because they're afraid of the litigation that could follow. Next, the raging race debate. One day after MLK Day, nothing's changing. But guess what is changing? The president's poll numbers among blacks. It's going up. Still low, but rising. And countdown to shutdown. 2 legislative days. Senate back in session today. They're not going to talk until tomorrow. Can they get anything done? You're listening to The Brian Kilmeade Show.
You won't pull or tear anything listening. Brian does all the heavy lifting. You're with Brian Kilmeade.
Concerned about your blood pressure? You should be. It's one of the keys to heart health and overall well-being. And if you're looking for a way to help support healthy blood pressure levels with a simple lifestyle change, here's good news. There's super vegetables that are great for your heart, beets. And Super Beets is a convenient way to get the benefits of beets every day. Now, Super Beets provides a nutrient that helps support healthy blood pressure by working with the body's own natural systems. Only Super Beets is made from beets grown to exacting standards, then concentrated into superfood crystals. So, if you want to maintain healthy blood pressure, call 800-541-2516 or do this. Go to Bryant'sBeets.com. With your first order, you'll get another 30-day supply of Super Beets for free, plus indicator strips to see how Super Beets is working for you and your body, and free shipping. So call 800-541-2516 or go to Bryant'sBeets.com. That's Bryant'sBeets.com. Or you can call 1-800-541-2516 or go to Bryant'sBeets.com. Do it today.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who've agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-545-0785. That's 1-800-545-0785. Again, 1-800-545-0785.
Very topical. International news.
Keeping you informed and up to date.
U.S. news, world news, everything. Still considered my local news.
St. Louis's home of Fox News.
Get my news quickly, and it's much easier to get it
on the radio.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Not long ago, we celebrated our 25th anniversary as a firm dedicated to, as many of you have heard, helping guys through one of the most difficult and crucial times in their lives. Starting out in 1990, my wife and I didn't realize that our mission would grow to include hundreds of attorneys, serving tens of thousands of guys across America and now in England. And though I'm proud of our growth, I'm most proud of the values that are the foundation of our success. And while it's true that Cordell & Cordell has aggressively defended guys facing divorce, the cornerstone of our practice, we've also encouraged reconciliation where possible. The fact is, we're proud to be the partner that guys can count on when the partner they hope for let them down.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's St. Louis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. Offices in Chesterfield, St. Charles, Arnold, Edwardsville, and Belleville.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertisements.
At Ameren, Illinois, we take safety seriously. And we know it's important to you too. So if you smell natural gas, make sure to get everyone safely away from the source and call us immediately. A gas technician like me will come over to check things out anytime at no charge. Don't second guess when it comes to natural gas. If you suspect there's a leak, call 800-755-5000. Ameren, Illinois. Energy at work.
Hey, St. Louis, it's Brian Kilmeade.
This hour, Kilmeade brought to you by RP Lumber. Best service, best value.
Hey, it's Mark Cox. Right after Kilmeade, it's the Mark Cox Show, noon to 3 on FM News Talk 97.1.
I've seen fire and I've seen fury. Seen White House staff who will have to face a jury. I've seen him drink a cup of water with tiny hands while he's lying in bed watching Fox and Friends.
That is funny. That's Jimmy Fallon singing Fire and Rain, right? James Taylor.
Yes, it was great. It goes on for 3 minutes and 15 seconds. That's just a small little portion of it.
Right. And by the way, I just answered Montel Williams on Twitter. The president said that his numbers have doubled among African-American blacks in this country. So I don't want to say African-Americans or this Caribbean Americans. I'm watching this debate last night. I realized, okay, Jesse Jackson told us to say African-Americans. That was who did it. So let's say blacks. His numbers have doubled among blacks in this country since 2016. Montel Williams just wrote back and said more BS, only he didn't say BS, from Fox and Friends. It's CBS and SurveyMonkey, cited in January 11th in The Atlantic by Ron Brownstein, hardly a Trump fan. It is true. Maybe the jobs and unemployment numbers are beginning to resonate. Maybe the fact that the TPP has not brought in cheap labor to ship out jobs and to fill positions and companies and products. Maybe that is filling the need. Remember, unions are for cracking down on the border. African Americans are for upping wages. You know, they want to see, of course, a minimum wage jacked up, but hopefully not by the government. Hopefully it's because out of competition. That's what I hope for anyway. So can we get some type of deal done, despite the uproar and the claims on all networks that the president has racial views? Tom Bevan, not optimistic, Real Clear Politics.
What happened between the meeting last week and these comments over the weekend, it's really poisoned the well now. Because of all this talk of Trump as a racist. Now you've got Democrats, the left wing of the Democratic base. I mean, they're not going to brook any sort of compromise among Dick Durbin or Democrats with Trump on chain migration or any of these other issues. That is also a gap that has widened over the past few days. So it's going to be hard to see how a deal gets done.
And I asked Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and if you listen to some of the Republicans, they're saying, don't even put DACA, just extend the budget, just extend for a couple more weeks. Don't even think about locking DACA with this budget plan. And Democrats might say, we have some momentum here. Let's really put the screws to the president. I think it would boomerang. It's a bit of a risk. Democrats feel like they're on a roll. Meanwhile, let's find out if there's more to know.
More to know.
The battle to shut down President Obama's presidential center is raging. It's supposed to be at Chicago's Jackson Park. The foundation promised a lot. A park would move. Instead, it's a parking lot. Initially, the library had morphed into a 20-acre private sector center. And some environmentalists and historians are unhappy that the Obama Foundation plans to swoop in and take over a national historic place. The foundation is not alone. The group is working together with a number of others, including the Friends of the Parks, Jackson Park Watch, Open Lands, and a bunch of others to try to stop and rein in President Obama's Chicago-based library. Whoever thought this would be an issue? Are you surprised?
I am. You would think that Chicago just would be celebrating whatever Obama wanted to do, but that's not the case.
13 victims, ages 2 to 29, kept shackled by their parents in California. You got to see this video. These kids are white as a ghost. They probably haven't seen the outside in years. A 17-year-old in the family escaped from the residence located on this road in 100 block of Muir Woods Road, called 911 out in California. And then the cops came and they saw this ugly situation. Her 12 siblings were really being held as prisoners by their parents.
And just as an example, they said the girl looked like she was 10 years old who escaped, and she was really 17.
Unbelievable. Both parents were detained and transported to a station for further investigation. What's going to happen to those kids? Oh, my goodness. And the 99-year-old Vikings fan given Super Bowl tickets. Remember, it will be in Minnesota whether the Vikings play or not. This guy's name is this woman's name is Millie Wall. Could have given the team a boost if needed. Wall has been a Viking fan since 1961 when the team started. She said she is now overwhelmed. She's never been to any of the 21 playoff games, and the team, which hadn't won a playoff game at home since 2009, made sure to have her there. How cool is that?
No championships for Minnesota. This could be, I mean, think about it, 99 years old, waited. It's a little lifetime waiting to see this moment. She could have it within a week.
Yeah, that'll be the number one story, how the frustrations in years past. The Pentagon is planning a sea-based nuclear weapons. We ready to invest in that, guys?
Why not?
The Pentagon argues that since adversaries are able to do this, we have to be able to fight this, and we need some type of missile defense. The plan moves and ignited a broad debate for the future of the U.S. nuclear strategy. Remember, President Obama wanted to get rid of all nuclear weapons, and now President Trump building more and modernizing our nuclear arsenal. So that is it. That's more to know. We'll have plenty more coming up on this Tuesday edition of the Brian Kilmeade Show. Remember, January 25th, I'll be at Virginia Beach at Barnes & Noble at 6:30. Don't miss it. Did you know you can sell your life insurance policy for cash? Yep, if you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may be eligible to sell all or part of the policy. You know, it turns out people have been selling the unneeded life insurance policies in their life for the last 15 years. You may be able to sell even a term life policy. With Coventry Direct, you can receive an immediate cash payment by selling your life insurance policy, and they named it a life settlement. The cash you receive from selling your policy can help with medical bills, supplement your retirement, or whatever you choose. Think about it. Medical expenses have increased. Premiums no longer affordable. Deductibles are too high. But the good news is you have the choice to sell that insurance. They said the cash you get, I don't know, can pay anything you want, even if you want to add to your retirement or pay off your house or your credit card. Find out if you qualify by going to Coventry Direct at 800-406-0700. You can speak to a policy specialist or visit CoventryDirect.com. 800-406-0700 or go to CoventryDirect.com. Coventry Direct can help you find the cash you need when you need it most. So go get it.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at ThrottleNet, and they are good friends. George and Mike, two of the owners, are just really cool guys. They're nerds. I could pretend they're not, but when you meet them, it'd be like, hey, thanks for warning me about that one. But they get it, and they can speak plain guy, layman's English when it comes to IT. Whether you have one computer, and they have many, many clients who are solo practitioners. They do taxes out of an extra bedroom, and they have one computer, and then they have some school districts and mega churches and construction companies that have hundreds of computers. First, like triage, they're going to make sure that you are safe. Data backup is huge. You can lose your whole business that you've worked for 20, 30 years in literally seconds. Then they're going to make sure that you are maximizing your IT for making money, for saving money. They charge you once a month and no contracts. Call 866-826-5966 or visit throttlenet.com.
KFTK FM, Florissant. KFTK AM East St. Louis. K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Focusing on the positive, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Our country is doing very well. Economically, we've never had anything like it.
President Trump, a short time ago in the Oval Office.
We have broken a lot of records. We're breaking another one today. The stock market is way up. Jobs are back. Black unemployment is the best it's ever been in recorded history.
As he meets with the president of Kazakhstan, still getting shouted questions from reporters about last week's meeting on immigration.
I want them to come in from everywhere.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham moments ago.
I don't know how we right the ship. Dr. King said something pretty poignant about us. He said, we came on different ships. We're all in the same boat now.
That at a Senate hearing where the Homeland Security chief says many people in the room used tough language during that meeting last Thursday, also defending the president's continued call for a border wall. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Lisa, President Trump asked for $20 billion in wall funding during last week's immigration meeting with a bipartisan group of senators. Democratic Senator Dick Durbin asked Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen about that during testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Is the president realistic when he says he wants $20 billion so he can build the wall in 1 year?
I think the president is encouraging us to go as quickly as we can.
Nielsen also said she did not recall the president using an expletive at the meeting. Lisa.
Rachel, 2 interstates in Kentucky shut down today because of crashes as another blast of winter hits the south, heading north. Central Tennessee could get up to 6 inches of snow. Roads and bridges coated with ice in nearly half of Mississippi's counties. And in Texas.
I'm encouraging Houstonians, unless you just have to be on the road. Help us all out by staying off the road.
Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner as icy conditions also cancel hundreds of flights in Texas. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-993-0840. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-993-0840. 800-993-0840.
97.1 News Time, 12:03. Good afternoon. I'm Jason Church. The bitter Arctic blast that's gripping St. Louis has area shelters and churches staying open extended hours. The Biddle House on North 13th Street downtown has accommodations and hot food for over 100 people. St. Louis Winter Outreach also says new churches like Destiny Family Church, St. Peter AME, and St. Douglas are also working to shelter those in need. You may have heard that the new tax reform bill will hit your paycheck as soon as next month, but the change may not reflect your ultimate tax bill. You should check your paycheck to make sure that you're having enough withheld to avoid owing more or getting less back at tax time. Former St. Louis Blues chairman Mike Shanahan died on Monday at the age of 78. Current Blues owner Tom Stillman said in a statement Monday night that Mr. Shanahan sent a shining example of leadership both on and off the ice. He captivated Blues fans and made an immeasurable impact on the organization. This news update brought to you by the Traffic Law Center. Traffic tickets are no fun. Call right now or text Ticket1. That's 842-5381, 314-TICKET1 or 618-TICKET1.
Is your family ready for a bad cold and flu season? Knowing when it's the flu can make a big difference. The best way to tell is that the flu brings a fever, so be prepared with a thermometer you can trust. The Exergen Temporal Scanner, backed by more than 70 clinical studies.
Hey everybody, Allman here for Mark and Neil Gelman of Coldwell Banker Premier. To get top dollar for your home and sell it quickly, you need an agent who can effectively market your home. The Gelman team has an aggressive marketing strategy that creates an auction-like effect, so competing buyers drive up the price of your home.
The marketing strategy is what enables them to sell more houses over $500,000 than any other local agent. They offer the home sale guarantee where they buy your house if it doesn't sell by the deadline, so you know your home won't be sitting on the market for months.
The Gelman team specializes in the Highway 40 corridor, but they also serve St. Charles County and North Jefferson County. They sell a ton of homes in my Clayton hood, and I definitely would use them if I had to sell my own.
I've known Mark and Neil for years, and I know their system works. Many of my listeners have used them and had a great experience. Call them today, 314-336-1991. That's 314-336-1991 or online at soldinmo.com. That's soldinmo.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. SquareTrade does not cover loss or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to SquareTrade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. SquareTrade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $200. Visit SquareTrade.com. That's SquareTrade.com.
Whether you received everything you wanted for the holidays or not, now you can at Suntrup Buick GMC. Hi, my name is Ken Klein, General Manager at Suntrup Buick GMC. Visit us today and take advantage of our aggressive 2018 lease opportunities. Lease the GMC Terrain, one of our 4 family-friendly SUVs, for $99 per month, or the sporty new Buick Encore for $129 a month. Enjoy incredible pricing on all the 2017 models, like the comfortable and stylish GMC Acadia, which has $13,000 off. Drive home in a rugged Sierra pickup truck with its bold styling and savings up to $10,000. I have worked at Suntrup Buick GMC for 25 years and have seen so many repeat customers coming back time and time again because we believe that from purchase to service, you deserve the best. Visit Suntrup Buick GMC today at I-70 at the Cave Springs exit in St. Peters or online at suntrupbuickgmc.com. That's suntrupbuickgmc.com.
24-month lease includes lease conquest and $1,500 down. Does not include tax, tag title, or admin fee. Offers not in combination.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This hour of the Mark Cox Show brought to you by Naputi Wellness. NaputiWellnessCenter.com.
The Mark Cox Show.
I want to compliment your show on how fair and level-headed everything you guys talk about.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
Maybe what we need from a conservative standpoint is
The Mark Cox Show.
I respect that. We don't agree.
Listen to both sides.
This
Let's get it on.
is The Mark Cox Show.
Folks, seems like just yesterday we were talking about Dow 25,000 because we were. And now here is where we are today. We land above 26,000. In the history of the Dow 30, we have never seen stocks this high. A major move up today, more than 300 points at the open.
Guess how many days it took to go through another 1,000-point milestone?
I thought it was like 7 working days or close to it.
Today makes 8. Today would make 8 if it actually closes above there. So, wow.
It's safe to open your 401k, America. You bet on it.
That's for sure.
All right. There you have it. Fox announcing earlier when the Dow opened this morning, it jumped about 300 points, topping 26,000 for the first time ever. And there were people believing that today could be a 1,000, I mean, it could be a multiple 100-point day by the time it's over because of the confidence that businesses have these days and the numbers they're seeing in retail and everything else. Welcome into the Mark Cox Show. A happy Tuesday to you. For those of you who had the day off yesterday, hint, hint, which will be Mr. Church and Miss Liz.
I was going to say both the other people in the studio.
I know. I showed up yesterday and nobody was here.
Frank was
amazing.
here.
The whole. Yeah. Well, Frank was back there.
That's so weird. I showed up Friday and you weren't here. So.
Well, you know, somebody's got to do it.
That's
I just swapped days. That's basically what I did.
That's true.
I took that day off. Hey, you know what? Some very interesting testimony was just taking place on the floor of the Senate, where Lindsey Graham and Dick Durbin are up there questioning Kirstjen Nielsen, who's the DHS secretary. First of all, I've got a better idea now of what went down on last week that led to all of the allegations about S-holes and hell holes and all of that stuff.
The people coming across the southern border live in hellholes.
Yes, they do, Senator Graham. Thank you for pointing that out. Dick Durbin doubled down on his allegations today about this horrible language that the president used. And Lindsey Graham got on there and made reference to it today again as well. And I just have to tell you, I mean, apparently it's okay now to use the S word.
If the president's watching, I'm still in the phone book. Don't give my number out, but call me. This has turned into a S show.
So this is what they talked about today. Dick Durbin tried to embarrass the DHS secretary. He tried to browbeat her into admitting that she was that she heard what he claimed he heard the president say. She also said she did not hear that. She heard strong language from a lot of people. Let me tell you what happened here, folks. Let me give you a little background. So apparently last Tuesday morning, Dick Durbin and the president had a phone conversation where Durbin said, "We think we've struck a deal. We want to come up there this afternoon and talk to you about it." So the president then calls Lindsey Graham and says, "I hear you guys think you have a deal. You going to come up here and talk about it?" Graham says yes. And they roughly outlined for the president over the phone what that deal would be. And it would be, you know, some path to citizenship effectively for these 800,000 dreamers. It would affect the Visa lottery program, although they were basically just playing a shell game with that because they'd let the same number of people in. It would not have limited chain migration. And then it would have provided some money for border security without calling it a wall. The president says, "Come on up, let's talk about this." So they gather in the White House, and you find out what this really is. Here, let me tell you what Lindsey Graham and Dick Durbin did. They took the Gang of Eight bill, and they split it in half. And they called the first half Phase 1, which included amnesty for DACA. And then there's a Phase 2, which includes amnesty for the other 11 million people living in this country. And between 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon when the meeting took place, the president and the staff of the White House, and I'm sure Tom Cotton and the other people who up there who represent conservative common sense in this country, took a look at this and said, no. This is a huge amnesty bill that's just been split in two. This can't happen. So they get up there and the president starts asking some hard questions about, well, why are we doing this? Why would we end the Visa lottery, which randomly lets people apply with no qualifications whatsoever to come to this country, and simply move those numbers to South America or the Sudan or El Salvador or Haiti? Why would we just move the numbers around? We're the quality of people that you're getting are still no better. We need to move to a merit-based system where this is not, we're not just randomly letting anybody in. And that's when it hit the fan, because Dick Durbin realized that he wasn't going to be able to sneak this in under the president's nose. And he had to come out of the meeting with some sort of an outrageous allegation to fire up the left so that they would stand up and try to threaten to shut the government down and not want to deal with Trump anymore. That's exactly what happened. And if you want to know what kind of a turncoat Lindsey Graham is, if you didn't already know what kind of a turncoat Lindsey Graham is, he was ready to give away the farm. Do you understand that? Listen to him explain speak down to the Department of Homeland Security Secretary on why he wanted to reach this deal, because we can't get everything we want. So we need to give amnesty to the Democrats. Listen.
Do you expect that the Democrats will give the president everything he wants for border security in phase 1?
No, sir. That's why we took the priorities that he issued in the fall and we culled them down.
Merit-based immigration. Do you believe we will move to a merit-based immigration system in phase 1?
Completely and fully, no.
Okay. Do you agree with me that the reason we want is if the Democrats give us everything we want on border and merit-based immigration and go to nuclear family in terms of future immigration flow, they won't have any leverage when it comes to the rest of the 11 million.
I have not seen any proposal where they give us everything we need.
Well, just
on
trust me on that. I deal with them a lot. They're not.
So what you've got is a Republican United States Senator batting for the Democrats. That's what you just heard Lindsey Graham say. If they give us this now, they don't have any leverage for the 11 million. Lindsey, that's none of your concern. Why is Lindsey Graham defending an effort to provide citizenship to the 11 million people that broke into this country? That's why, thank goodness, the president shut this stuff down when they came to the White House and walked out and said, I don't think they want a deal on DACA. Because they're ignoring they're not listening to the words that are coming out of our mouth. Still one of my favorite sayings. My daughter was young. She spoke early. She didn't quite understand what she was getting. We didn't quite understand what she was getting at was something she was trying to tell us. And she said, you are not listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth. That's what Donald Trump must have felt like after that meeting. And you know who they want to pin this on? Stephen Miller in the White House. That's what this comes down to, folks. They want to pin this on Stephen Miller at the White House. Dick Durbin and Lindsey Graham have buddied up on this, and I don't know if there's any way that we get around it. But this is the closing argument today by Lindsey Graham when he walked out of this meeting.
Is a reliable partner at the White House. Somebody like the president who showed up on Tuesday. We cannot do this with people in charge at the White House who have an irrational view of how to fix immigration. Thank you.
Is Stephen Miller in that category, sir?
So he just called either the president or Stephen Miller or Tom Cotton or somebody on the conservative side who said no to immigration. He's called them unreliable because they're not realistic about how to fix the immigration problem. Yeah, you know what, Lindsey? We're confident that we know how to fix the immigration problem if you would just listen. But he won't just listen. Wait till you hear the ego-stroking comments he made about Dick Durbin in this meeting today. It's unbelievable. It's like the two were separated at birth or something. It's maddening. It really is. We'll get to it coming up here. Also, your phone calls. Of course, Chris Arps is going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. Liz, first, let's get to the short list.
The short list brought to you by Bill Thomas Camper Sales. Find your camper at btcamper.com.
and this is an important issue. He's passionate about it. He's not going to apologize for trying to fix our immigration system.
I would not call these racial undertones. These are tones.
Right.
These are loud, blaring tones.
A week ago, I would have said that Democrats would have resisted that pressure to do this. But I think now, there's a very, very good chance that we could wind up with a shutdown come Friday.
We could end up with a shutdown come Friday because you know what? Nothing, and I mean nothing, the full understanding of the word nothing matters to the Democratic Party right now but the election next November. They will hang these DACA kids out to dry in return for trying to make the Republicans look bad in preparation for the election next November. Because every single time the government has ever shut down, whether it was Barack Obama's fault or Bill Clinton's fault or Newt Gingrich's fault, they've managed to squarely hang it around the neck of the Republicans every time. That's what they think they're going to do because the Republicans have offered them a continuing resolution to kick the can down the road a couple of more weeks while they try to come to some agreement on DACA, and the Democrats don't seem to have any interest in that. It's why they drummed up this whole false racism charge led by Dick Durbin. That's what they're after. They don't care if they get a deal. All they care about is trying to inflict more damage on the Republicans and to try to win a few more House seats next fall. All right, 314-969-9797. I hope you can stay with us. We got a good show for you today. There are now, folks, Republican legislators who are calling for Governor Greitens to resign. We're going to interview one of them on this show a little later, coming up today in the 2 o'clock hour at around 2:10. I hope you can stick around for that and much more right after this.
Mark Cox Show on FM News Talk 97.1, 98.7, AM 1490, and 97.1talk.com. Dependable weather.
Clouds take control today. Chance of a couple of spotty
with Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray.
Brought to you by Air Comfort Service. No heat, furnace acting up, high utility bills. Get 0% financing on a new furnace. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
All right, so Golden Oak Lending, it's a new year, right? We told you never know when interest rates might go up a little bit. They've still got low rates at Golden Oak Lending. But again, the stock market's doing well. The economy's gearing up. That usually means the Fed wants to tinker with interest rates. Right now, you can still get a 15-year fixed mortgage from Golden Oak for 2.875. 15 years, 10% equity with approved credit. It's an APR of about 3.9, but it's a great rate. You got to call them, though. They got money to loan. Again, their average cash out right now about $857 a month. Now, that's not just in mortgage payment savings, but because a lot of people are taking money out, cashing out of the equity in their home to pay off high-interest credit cards or other debt that they might have that they're having to shell out money toward that interest every month. Once you've consolidated that, you don't have that anymore. That's money that you keep in your pocket. So Golden Oak will tell you right over the phone if they can save you money. You can't beat that. This is your chance to lower your mortgage payment because home values are up. Get that cash out now and eliminate mortgage insurance if that's something you're dealing with. Just call Golden Oak Lending. Let them cure your blues. You've heard their commercial often enough. The phone number is 314-567-GOLD. 314-567-GOLD. Their NMLS number is 114937.
Who needs age spots, wrinkles, or bags under the eyes? Get a more natural, youthful look at Ridenour Plastic Surgery. 314-878-8600 or RidenourPlasticSurgery.com. Age beautifully with Ridenour, 878-8600.
Hi, I'm local tax attorney Lance Drury, and I've represented hundreds of individuals and small businesses in disputes with the IRS. So if you've been contacted for past due tax debt or haven't filed taxes in a while, contact me, Lance Drury. And because each client's case is unique, we'll meet face-to-face and go over your tax situation in detail. Together, we'll develop a strategy to resolve your tax issues. I'm experienced, I know your rights, and I'll give you honest answers. Under my 8-point plan, my firm will file the necessary forms needed to resolve your issue with the IRS, and you won't have to worry about talking to their agents. I'll negotiate on your behalf to get you the lowest settlement allowed by law. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we want to make sure that you're satisfied with the outcome. So call me now, Tax Resolution Attorney Lance Drury, 314-238-7360, or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The best advice for wise investing is to ask questions, no matter how basic. Before you hand over your hard-earned money, ask questions about the background of your investment professional and how you are investing your money. This is Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. One of the most important steps you can take when investing is learning to detect potential investment scams. Before making any investment involving your hard-earned money, slow down and take additional time to investigate the facts. By going to MissouriProtectsInvestors.com, you can search the names of investment firms to find out if they're registered and if they have a history of complaints. While most financial professionals put their clients' needs first, there are some that prey on the trust of unsuspecting Missourians. To protect you from becoming a victim of financial fraud, our office has formed the Vulnerable Citizen Services Unit, and we use the full extent of the law to go after those trying to harm Missourians' financial security. Investigate before you invest at MissouriProtectsInvestors.com.
Hey guys, Glover and Close here for Dave Young, our good friend at the Sound Room. Mark has known him for decades. I've been buying stuff from him for probably better part of 20 years now. And it's a lie that the competitors will tell you that you have to be a millionaire to shop at the Sound Room. Any price from a real store, even online, they're going to meet it. Sometimes they'll even be able to beat it because they have great buying power and amazing advice for no more money.
They have brought back this great promotion. Your old receiver is now worth $200 trade-in, right? Trade in any old receiver, dead or alive, doesn't have to be working. You get $200 trade-in towards the purchase of any new home theater receiver from Integra, one of the best names in the business. The Sound Room, located in Chesterfield Valley, right next to Amini's. Keep in mind, the same price with better advice. That's what you'll get at the Sound Room. The trade-in deal goes for a limited time, so make sure you check it out. To get all the information you need, please go to thesoundroom.com.
We have multiple casualties.
The heroes that they are.
Automatic fire.
They're there.
Sean Hannity.
The next time a police officer comes under fire,
weeknights 7 to 9,
everybody rushes to judgment. Remember the cops in Vegas.
On FM News Talk 97.1. Listening to The Mark Cox Show. Find everything Mark Cox at 971talk.com/Cox.
I think Dick Durbin has been one of the best people you could ever hope to work with, that he's a decent, honest man, a liberal Democrat. Yeah, he said yeah. And I'm a conservative Republican, but on this and other things, we can find a way forward. So, Mr. President, I'm going to end today where I ended Tuesday. Close this deal.
Yeah, there's Lindsey Graham for you, heaping praise on an individual who has stood in front of the television cameras for the past 4 or 5 days and insisted that Donald Trump is some sort of a crazy racist against anybody from Africa or Haiti or who's got skin a different color than his. Now, how can Lindsey Graham look at Dick Durbin and praise him like he's the greatest human being on earth after the way he's shown his backside the last 4 or 5 days? Can somebody raise your hand if you can explain that to me? Raise your hand if you can argue that he is a Republican to stand up and say, you know, I understand that sometimes to get what you want, it takes negotiation. This takes it a step further. Listen to what we've had to endure, just a clip or two of what we've had to endure the last 24 hours, directly as a result of this fine man named Dickie Durbin. Listen.
Well, I think he has a track record here, and I think the track record goes far back.
He wants to make America not great, but want to make America just white.
We know now very clearly what President Trump means when he talks about a merit-based system. Let's have more white people, preferably Nordic, and forget those black people.
There's just an irredeemable quality of bigotry about him.
The guy in control has given people in racism, negative racism, an opportunity to be out and outspoken without fear.
You don't have to spray paint the N-word over the Oval Office and sleep with a KKK hood to be a racist. If you have racist policies, say racist things, operate in a racist manner, you are a racist. Period. End of story.
Who is the man that would risk his neck for his brother, man?
Shaft. Can you dig it? Ooh. Chris, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Can I tell you what the greatest single invention for cars has been over the last 20 years?
Heat seaters?
Heated seats. You got
radio.
You stole my thunder.
Oh, wait, never mind.
You completely stole
my
thunder.
That's what we call them in my house, is heat seaters instead of seat heaters, because everybody wants to sit on that seat.
Oh, well, these are all four, so it was... Oh, it felt so good. It's cold.
I'm telling you.
It's cold outside.
It'll chill you to the bone. I think I had the heat on high the whole way down here this morning and never completely felt warm.
That's pretty much me every winter.
Is that right?
Yeah,
there you have it.
Hey, before we start, can I give out a couple of birthday shouts?
Well, sure.
Okay, I want to make a birthday shout out to Jeremiah Dellis, who is a friend of the show and listens. And then I want to shout out happy birthday to Hasha McQueen, whose birthday is today. I think Hasha's turning 27. Yeah.
And she looks like it, so that's good. Congratulations.
So
happy birthday to all of them.
Yeah, and you know what?
Good.
I was hearing a bunch of Sade music coming down here, so I was wondering, is she dead? What's going on with her? And her birthday's today.
Who?
Sade. Come on, Mark. Smooth.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. Threw me off.
We got to get you
I thought maybe that was the one that died yesterday. That's why
that
caught my
was the lead
attention.
singer of the Cranberries.
Okay.
What would I see if I went to your house and looked at your album collection?
Anything 1993 or before.
I've got
and
like
Van
the
Halen.
original Van Halen album, and I've got one of the what is the Led Zeppelin album where the guy's carrying the sticks on his back? Which one is that? Do you know the
That was one of the numbers, I believe.
Yeah, I've still got that one in the cellophane,
like 2 or 3.
still wrapped, never been opened. So I've got good music, good quality music would be the answer to your question.
Where are you keeping your Bee Gees Saturday Night Fever album?
No comment.
It's
no,
hidden.
Non-existent is what that is. Thank you. So I don't know if you listened to any of the show on your way down here or not.
Always.
But this thing with Lindsey Graham that happened a few minutes ago just got me fired up. I want to reach through the screen and just throttle him. He is not working to represent the Republican Party in this country. He's working to benefit Democrats and his buddy, Dick Durbin, who apparently he was separated from at birth.
You know, some would make the argument that he is not in Congress to represent the Republican Party. He's in Congress to represent the good people in South Carolina.
I lived in South Carolina.
Okay.
So what's the point?
Well, I'm just saying, you're saying he's not maybe a lot of times politicians are all about self-preservation. Politicians don't do anything normally that's going to get the people back home angry. So if I see Lindsey Graham doing something like this, I'm saying he must have some people that agree with this with him for him to come out like this. So that's why I'm saying he's not. They're not necessarily represent. They're not supposed to represent the Republican Party, but their constituents back home.
Lindsey Graham has been consistent since the Gang of 8 days, and what I said earlier is. All they claim to have quickly come up with some compromise bill. They dusted off the Gang of 8 bill and they cleaved it in half and said, "Here, Mr. President, here's phase 1, which we've added DACA into, and in phase 2, we'll get you more money for that wall, but oh, by the way, we're going to grant amnesty to the 11 million people that broke into the country who haven't broken any laws since then.
I think the Democrats are playing a game of chicken that in the past they felt
they've won.
That they feel they've won and they feel that they can win, but I don't think so this time around. I think President Trump is very good at going out to the media and to the people of making his case, and I think he can clearly make the case that Democrats want to keep the border open so illegals can come in here and commit more crimes like what happened to Kate Steinle. I think he's going to bludgeon them over the head with that over and over and over and over. I know I would.
Yeah, well, let's hope. Let me get to a phone call here. Lynn's been holding on for a while. Lynn, thank you for the call. Is Lynn potted up over there? Lynn, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to say a little comment about Lindsey Graham and that lovely shyster across the river called, Dickie Durbin.
Yep.
Graham needs to be told, shaken. Somebody needs to get hold of him and tell him that he's supposed to be, like he called himself, a conservative Republican.
He did.
And evidently he doesn't quite know what that means. I guess he kind of thinks that means liberal Democrat. I guess the two terms are just synonymous to him. And, as far as these two guys are concerned, the guy across the river, which I can't even stand to say his name, and grown up with him over the years. And they're both players. Both of them want to make the best deal, not for the country, the best deal for them. And whatever would be best for them is what they'll do. And if they have to lie about it, they will. If they have to steal or whatever. And that just comes from a long time of watching these guys maneuver. And they maneuver like snakes in the grass. And when Trump went up there to drain the swamp, I wish he would drain those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, thank you, Lynn, for your point. And she's of the same mindset that I am. Lindsey Graham has been so anxious to make a deal on this. He clearly either doesn't comprehend or just doesn't care about the fact that if amnesty is ever granted to those 11 million people that broke into this country, that didn't get in line and come in through the system the way it's designed, as broken as it is, there will never be another Republican elected in this country in his lifetime or my lifetime or Liz's lifetime.
I'm feeling like giving everybody the benefit of the doubt today. Why can't, and I don't agree with it, but why can't Lindsey Graham just honestly believe in this? That he has compassion, according to him, and these people
it's not logical.
So,
do you agree we should give amnesty to people that broke into this country?
I do not, but I did put on my Facebook page today that I've kind of evolved on my DACA position, and I don't mind them, the parents and these children that were brought here illegally, staying in the country as long as they never can vote and can never become citizens. That's a compromise I can live with.
But
that's for the DACA people.
But that's not in the bill. That's not what Lindsey Graham wants to do. He wants to give them a 10-year glide to citizenship.
I don't support
for
that.
DACA kids.
I don't support that at all. Give them a green card, call it a day.
No, I'm
Not
sorry.
Even a green card, Mark?
Permanent residency.
Okay, that's what
and I'm not opposed to giving the dreamers, the DACA kids, a path to citizenship. If you graduate from college and you're earning a living and you're paying taxes, or you go in the military or something like that, that's giving something back to this country. Okay, maybe we talk about that. I would be much happier with just permanent residency.
Yeah.
Because you didn't come here legitimately. I don't want to legitimize your existence here with citizenship.
Because you're just creating incentives for others
for more.
to do the
Absolutely.
same thing.
Yeah. It was the biggest problem Reagan had, but was granting amnesty, and now here we are all these years later wanting to do the same thing.
Yeah. What's that saying that's in the Bible? There's nothing new under the sun. Hate to get religious on you.
Well, I'm just this whole thing, and poor Kirsten Nelson, who had to sit there and listen to this barrage from Graham and Dick Durbin. It was just it was sad to watch. It really was.
I almost gave Liz a heart attack last Friday because I called Dick Durbin what Mark Levin calls him.
Oh,
little Durbin.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because he said on the air, can I call him this? And I said, you just did.
I'm like, Mark Levin calls him that. So
well, there you go. There you go.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You're supposed to ask
They do
off the
relax
air.
those rules a little bit after like 10 o'clock at night or something, I think.
And they still let
I
me
don't know.
And they still let me in the building today, so I guess it was okay, right, Liz?
The people coming across the southern border live in hellholes.
Yes, they do. All right, let's get to a break. 314-969-9797. Chris is going to hang around with us. We'll get to your phone calls. Kenneth, Steve, Terry, hang on the line. I got a couple lines open. And coming up, of course, in the next hour, we're going to talk to Dave Workman. Dave is with an organization called GunMag.com, and there is a gun shop owner who's taken a case all the way to the Supreme Court. And we're going to get to the bottom of that and why it's so important when we come back. We'll be right back.
This is the Mark Cox Show. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. The morning sunshine will give way to plenty of cloud later today. It'll be breezy and bitterly cold with a high of 15. It'll feel as if it's below zero throughout the day. Partly cloudy skies this evening, then clear and frigid overnight, low 8. Bright sunshine tomorrow, not as bitter in the afternoon, high 26. Thursday, sunshine and turning milder, high 43. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
The Healthcare Solutions team can help you out if, one thing that you're going to be struggling with in 2018 are those health insurance premiums you have to pay each month because, of course, through the exchanges, it's driven the prices up again for this year. You got a couple of options. First of all, let's assume for a moment that you missed the deadline or you decided not to get insurance because it was just too expensive and you're going to kind of roll the dice. Don't do that. Call the Healthcare Solutions team. Tell them your situation. They work with some of the biggest companies in the country, United Healthcare, Anthem, Aetna, National General. They can find healthcare that fits your needs at a premium that fits your needs. If your premiums are $600 a month and your deductible is $7,000 or $8,000, you don't have healthcare because you're never going to get to use it. All that's going to be out of your pocket first. So call Healthcare Solutions team. They're local. You're not dealing with somebody in Dallas or Taiwan. You're dealing with somebody right here in St. Louis. 314-304-6850. Tell them your situation. See what they can do to help you. I know people personally who've saved hundreds of dollars a month on their premiums. It's the Healthcare Solutions team, 314-304-6850.
Watch the Mark Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
Earnings vary based on your effort.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, call 1-800-900-2440. Seating is extremely limited. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. That's 1-800-900-2440. That's 1-800-900-2440.
Black Rifle Coffee, a company created by Special Forces veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan that spent their time between cups of coffee stacking bodies so you could enjoy your mocha latte. Hi, this is Sig Glockencolt from Tactical. We're proud to be the first and only dealer of Black Rifle Coffee in St. Louis. Stop by and get yourself a cup or a bag of Freedom Fuel, coffee or die, or caffeinated underrated as fuck. Available in whole bean, ground, or K-Cups. We promise you won't be embarrassed by some liberal putz when ordering. Tactical at Highway 70 in St. Peters or shop.tactical.com.
So I purchased the timeshare back in 1997 because I was looking for something to do with my kids. By 2012, I had a third child, but my older two had graduated from high school. We weren't taking trips together as a family any longer. Then I did see some advertising for Timeshare Exit Team, and I was extremely impressed with how professional they were and how straight and to the point they were in getting me out of my timeshare.
Time changes everything. If your timeshare no longer fits your life, go to timeshareexitteam.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-333-1750. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
Jamie Ullman in the morning.
Hey, Wednesday, it's a word that ends in whole and begins with R. It's about where Democrats are going. Plus, Weber and Kennedy.
On FM News Talk
97.1. Show. Follow the show on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Mark Cox Show.
Yeah, the president wants to get a good deal. He's worried that Democrats' unwillingness to actually put the country ahead of their party is what's stalling things from moving forward, whether it's the budget or whether it's a deal on DACA. I think they're using it as an excuse not to help this president get something accomplished, which I think is a sad day for our country, that they're willing to throw away the progress and negotiations and not make big steps that we need to happen.
Yeah, Sarah Sanders there speaking the truth. She speaketh the truth. Today at around 2:30 our time, there's supposed to be a press briefing at the White House in which it's believed that the president's physician will be introduced, who will then comment on his recent health checkup. That's possible. So if that happens, we'll go to it.
Can I make a prediction?
What's that?
He is the most fittest president in United States history.
That's possible. Yeah, I think that you might be onto something. He's
in history.
In history,
yes,
ever. Yeah, I think you're right.
Mark has built a tremendous show here. I know tremendous. Did I mention I built a tremendous company?
Could be, his health could be tremendous.
Tremendous.
It could be. It could be tremendous.
I thought I heard
tremendous. Yeah.
Excellent.
China.
China.
I like how he says China.
Billions and billions.
Billions and billions.
So, Chris, I mean, I commented on this a little bit earlier, but go ahead and play cut number 1, and I want to get Chris's reaction to this, please.
You don't have to spray paint the N-word over the Oval Office and sleep with a KKK hood to be a racist. If you have racist policies, say racist things, operate in a racist manner, you are a racist. Period. End of story.
Al Sharpton, race pimp extraordinaire, accusing the president of that. You know, I listened this morning. Jamie played it. I had the bite, and I forgot to copy it over, but of Jesse Jackson heaping praise on Donald Trump back in 1998 because, of course, he had donated money to the Rainbow Coalition. God knows what kind of extortion levels he had to pay to get that kind of praise from Jesse Jackson. There's a picture of Al Sharpton shaking hands with him. They loved him back then. And now all of a sudden, because he's not toeing the Democrat Party line, he's a racist. It's a phrase that's used to eviscerate your competition.
That is part of it, but I've said many times on this show that a lot of black people, liberal black people, will be forever mad at Donald Trump because of the whole birth certificate deal with Obama.
Arpaio doubled down the other day.
I'm just saying that's a big part of it. But I want to tell you, I make a distinction between a racist and a person who is racially insensitive. A racist to me is somebody who would say, I don't want to be around a black person. If you marry my daughter, that's terrible. That calls you N-words. I don't want to be anywhere around them. That's a racist. I think you have people that can be racially insensitive and may say some things that may be off-putting to them, but I don't necessarily know if that makes you a racist. And I think President Trump may be in that latter category. But I don't think Donald Trump is going around saying N-word every other day, and I don't want black folks in the White House and they're this and that. I don't think he is like that. But I think he is I think he is racially insensitive.
Nothing in his record. He just speaks his mind. There's nothing in his record to suggest racism. Somebody tried to argue during the election that there was a court case one time where somebody alleged that in one of the apartment buildings he owned or something, somebody had been, I don't know, had been biased against somebody who lived there who was black. And that's what they've tried to, it was disputed by him, but that's what they dragged up.
I researched all this during the campaign. What it was the Justice Department brought suit against Donald Trump and his father because they were supposed to have practices where they were not renting to black people. And they didn't admit guilt, but they paid a fine. There's another aspect of him that people think he's racist because of that Central Park case with those with the jogger. When those guys were exonerated, Donald Trump placed a full-page ad saying they should get the death penalty and all that stuff, and he's never taken that back, even though these guys were exonerated by DNA evidence. Those little things like that are what gives people the idea that he's a racist.
So people who still think OJ is guilty are racist? He was exonerated.
I think that's a leap there from what we're talking about.
I'm just saying. I mean, it just seems like they're having to go some distance to try to make this argument just to try to tear down his agenda.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with this, this S-hole comment that was made really shows the dysfunction of Washington, if you ask me. Because can you imagine in the 80s or before that, or even with Bill Clinton, if leaders were in the White House from different parties and they were trying to negotiate something in good faith, and the president may have said something that may have been a little off color or whatever, there is no way that a Democrat or somebody the opposite party, the first thing they would do after they leave the White House is get in front of a microphone and say, hey, look what the president said. He's a racist. It just illustrates just how far we've come in our discourse in politics. Something like that never would have gotten out back in the day. They may have said, hey, we don't agree the president said that, but they never would have embarrassed him like that because they want to have relations with him later to get stuff done.
They want to have relations with him.
Well, you know what I mean.
You mean a relationship? Oh, thank you for clearing that up, because then somebody would say he was sexist. You can't have that,
You just messed up my brilliant point I made.
No, I did not.
I thought that was brilliant.
I saw a great meme on this whole Hawaii missile alert thing. If you think their missile alert system's broken, you should see their birth certificate system. Okay, yeah.
I'm a sellout for laughing at that. You know that?
That's funny. I'm sorry, but that's some funny
stuff.
Just
made me a sellout for
laughing
at that.
Let me get to a couple of phone calls here since people have been holding a while. Let me get to Terry on line 3. Terry, you're on the air.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Hey, I keep hearing all this stuff about the government shutdown, and I've heard it before. It's a common thing, around stuff like this. But I really don't understand what it means for a government shutdown. And if they do shut down, do I have to keep paying taxes if they ain't doing their job?
The last time it shut down, I didn't notice. I mean, I'm not on public assistance, and I don't draw Social Security yet or anything like that. My understanding is those checks still get issued even if the government's shut down. So I guess it's non-essential government stuff that gets closed. I don't know. I didn't notice last time.
They need me. I don't really need them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you bet. Maybe it'll stay shut down through April 15th.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you said? Non-essential government
services.
Like, can we just get rid of those and save
don't
money
you
on
think?
that?
Well, but I mean, not.
But that's
not
what I'm saying.
Part of
though.
the health and protecting the health and welfare. I mean, if you want to, you had the Austin Peterson on your show the other day. He's a libertarian. He would probably agree that most of government is non-essential.
Is the mail,
and there are big parts of that I would agree with.
Is the mail delivered during these shutdowns? The government.
I assume that it is.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is because I think the last time essential. It shut down, I got mail.
Yeah, you've got mail.
So what's your prediction? Are we going to have a government shutdown Friday?
I think the Democrats are willing to go to the mat to prove a political point for next fall. Every time the government has shut down, they have managed to hang it around the necks of the Republicans. I don't understand why. In this particular case, the Republicans are going to pass a budget in the House and send it to the Senate. If they shut it down in the Senate, it won't be because the Republicans didn't vote for it.
Well, they've never had a president before that is media savvy and can counterpunch.
True.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens Friday.
I'd say he's willing to go to the mat with him.
I think he is, too.
Yeah,
I really do.
I think you're right. Chris, thank you, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate that.
Do I have to go back out in the cold now?
Sorry I hung you out to dry there. They said with the wind chills, by the way, just to warm you up a little bit before you head out the door.
Yes.
It's going to feel like it's below zero all day.
Oh, well, it feels like Iowa. This is how Iowa was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I bet it was when you were with Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
You're the name dropper.
Yeah,
all right. Chris, thank you very much. Stick around, 314-969-9797. Much more to come on The Mark Cox Show.
This hour of The Mark Cox Show brought to you by Naputi Wellness. NaputiWellnessCenter.com.
At last, the new year is here. What do you see ahead? Happy days and carefree nights?
Credit card bills?
Right, credit card bills.
Looking at months of high-interest credit card bills from all that generous holiday gift giving? Time to go to Lightstream and get a low-interest rate credit card consolidation loan. Act now to get an even lower rate with our special radio listener discount. Go to lightstream.com/news to get rates as low as 5.39% APR with autopay. And with average interest rates on credit cards at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands of dollars in interest. Makes the new year a whole lot brighter, doesn't it? The application takes minutes online. There are no fees, and you can have funds as soon as today. So if you have good to excellent credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount at lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/news. lightstream.com/news.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.5% autopay discount available only when you select autopay prior to loan funding. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for important information about limits on Lightstream loans and same-day funding.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Brooklinen. So here's the way this works. When a new company, especially a national company, is interested in using me as a spokesperson, they send me whatever it is. Harry sends me shaving supplies, and MeUndies sends me underwear, and Brooklinen sent me sheets. I would say a box full of sheets, but it actually comes in this decorative bag, really kind of different and cool, and took them out of the bag, put them on my bed, didn't wash them, didn't do anything, and they were honestly the best, most comfortable, softest sheets I've ever slept on ever in my life. Feels like I've been sleeping on them for years, like they've been washed over and over again, broken in. They're just fantastic. It's a couple that started this company. It's direct bedding, pillowcases, sheets, comforters, duvet covers, everything at a fraction of the price. So use Glover as your promo code when you go to brooklinen.com. Get $20 off and free shipping, but only when you use Glover as your promo code at brooklinen.com. BROOKLINEN.com.
When you own your own restaurant, you have to do it all. Say your chef's out sick, you have to cook. If your busboy's a no-show, you have to clear tables. I even print my own dinner specials every day. You know, in all my spare time.
Right now at Staples, get up to $120 off select HP OfficeJet Pro printers as HP celebrates 30 years of helping small businesses succeed.
Thanks to Staples, now I have time to scrub my stock pots. So glamorous.
Staples. Saving money equals saving sanity. Ends 1/2018. See store staples.com for details. Restrictions may apply.
Attention shoppers, cleanup on aisle 14. Cleanup
on aisle 14. Someone dropped a jar of pickles. Pickles. Kosher pickles.
Beatboxing at a big box store. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
A red minivan has the lights on in the parking lot.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
KFTK FM, Florissant. KFTK AM East St. Louis. K254CR St. Louis.
The Mark Cox Show, brought to you by Thomas Helbig, the official St. Louis financial advisor of The Mark Cox Show.
Find everything Mark Cox at 971talk.com/Cox. FM News Talk 97.1.
Bad information. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. One Republican senator thinks that's what led to the heated meeting on immigration last week and all the controversy that's followed over what the president said or did not say. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on Capitol Hill.
One of the participants in a White House immigration meeting last Thursday describes different attitudes from President Trump.
Something happened between 10 and 12.
The South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham says President Trump seemed open to a bipartisan immigration measure Thursday morning before that meeting, punctuated by reports of derogatory language directed at other countries.
We cannot do this with people in charge at the White House who have an irrational view of how to fix immigration.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen says the president's priorities have not changed, repeating any deal for young immigrants brought to the country illegally as children must also address family-based chain migration and visa lotteries. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. The parents of 13 children accused of abuse in California remain jailed on $9 million bail each. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal following this live from L.A.
Lisa, the kids ranged in age from 2 to 29 years old. They were all fed and taken to hospitals. Riverside County Sheriff's Captain Greg Fellows says the mother, Louise Turpin, seemed perplexed that deputies were there when they showed up Sunday after getting a call from a 17-year-old who'd escaped the house. Fellows says inside conditions were horrific.
Being 17 years old and appearing to be a 10-year-old, being chained to a bed, being malnourished, and injuries associated with that, I would call that torture.
Louise Turpin and her husband David are due in court Thursday, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. Emotional testimony in a Michigan courtroom as victims detail abuse at the hands of Larry Nassar, the former sports doctor for Olympic gymnasts and college athletes, facing sentencing for sexual abuse. He's already serving 60 years for child porn. Fair and balanced.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-993-0840. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-993-0840. 800-993-0840.
97.1 News Time 103. Good afternoon. I'm Jason Church. The Missouri Highway Patrol is saying today that the fatal crash on Interstate 70 yesterday was caused by a driver who fell asleep at the wheel. The man was driving a vehicle with 7 passengers when he fell asleep and veered into oncoming traffic. St. Louis Public Safety Director Jimmy Edwards spoke at an event honoring Dr. Martin Luther King yesterday and used the occasion to ask black people to stop killing other black people. Edwards attributed high rates of black-on-black crime to environment and culture. Greg Daly, Collector of Revenue for the City of St. Louis, has learned that he will continue running the license fee office at City Hall after all. The contract to run the office was to go to another company, but that company withdrew its bid last Friday. Daly's office serves over 60,000 city residents per year. This news update brought to you by the Traffic Law Center. Traffic tickets are no fun. Call right now or text Ticket1. That's 842-5381, 314-TICKET1, or 618-TICKET1.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Brian Kilmeade here. Data breaches are commonplace now. They have widespread effects too, and all networks are vulnerable to cybersecurity threats. Don't wait to find out if your network security system works. My friends at Network Technology Partners can help your company reduce the likelihood of an attack, making your environment more difficult to penetrate. Cyber threats continue to increase in frequency and grow in complexity. You need an integrated solution to help prevent, detect, and respond to threats in an orchestrated manner. Network Technology Partners can solve or prevent network security issues for your business. They've been working with companies like yours since 1999. Now, NTP will assess your organization and help to set up a plan of action for use before the breach occurs. This allows you to have a structured, quick response to any breach. My friends at NTP can help you customize the best approach to meet your compliancy requirements and your budget. Call 314-458-4995 or visit ntpcybersecurity.com. Tell them Brian Kilmeade sent you.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to SquareTrade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. SquareTrade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
Mark Cox here, inviting you to join me along with Mark Close and Thomas Helbig for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event Tuesday, January 30th. We'll meet at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 to reserve your seats. Here's Thomas with more.
Will you be able to retire on time and maintain the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you truly diversified or just think you are? Do you know how to structure reliable, consistent income in retirement that you'll never outlive? Do you also know the best strategy to protect your assets in volatile times and help maximize the legacy you leave your heirs? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 or older, you don't want to miss this special event. See you Tuesday, January 30th at 6:30 p.m. at the Frontenac Hilton.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, along with me and Mark Close at the Frontenac Hilton, Tuesday, January 30th at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 or visit retirementkey.com.
This hour of the Mark Cox Show brought to you by Thomas Helbig, the official St. Louis financial advisor of the Mark Cox Show.
The Mark Cox Show.
I want to compliment your show on how fair and level-headed everything you guys talk about.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
Maybe what we need from a conservative standpoint is
The Mark Cox Show.
I respect that. We don't agree.
Listen to both sides.
Let's get it on. Is The Mark Cox Show.
If more immigration always makes the country richer, then why does the state with the most immigration, which is California, keep getting poorer? It now has more poverty than any state. 1 out of 5 Californians is poor. If immigration makes us richer, why is California getting poorer?
Good question, Tucker Carlson. You know, I've even got my daughter watches Tucker Carlson with me now sometimes. We sit there and we watch it at night. And I've told her, she said this to me yesterday, I had to pause the show because something was going on. And she said, Daddy, look, Tucker's got the Twin Towers. So what I told her was, when Tucker Carlson furrows his brow and you see those 2 lines form between his eyebrows, he's about to bring the hammer down on some liberal who's been stupid enough to go on his program. Love me some Tucker Carlson. I watch it every chance I get. So I was glad to see him having the immigration debate. So that was good. And I'm sure you're probably as big a fan of that as I am. That and the Ingram angle, I'm watching those just about nightly, and I was already watching Hannity. So there you have it. I don't just sit at home every night doing that, but I'm just telling you, as part of the show prep, That's a good one. So, anyway, glad you're back with us for hour 2 of the show today. We've still got lots to talk about here, folks. Did you see where Chelsea Manning, who released something on the level of 750,000 secure documents to WikiLeaks, Democrats didn't apparently seem to have a problem with that release to WikiLeaks because President Obama effectively let this dude out of jail before he left office, commuted his sentence, didn't pardon him, which I thought raised an interesting question about can you, if you're convicted of something like that, a crime against the state, and you've served your jail time, can you come out and run for a public office?
That's a really good question.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to it, but apparently they're going to try in this case. Anyway, Chelsea Manning has released his initial campaign ad, and I'm going to play that for you later because I want you to hear it. It's interesting stuff. I'll just tell you that. And coming up a little later in this hour, we'll tell you about the School Spirit Award stuff we've got going on here at the station. And Michelle Seiler Tucker is going to join us. We've had her on before. She is an author. She's a business expert. She's been looking at the latest lawsuit against Apple. I have an iPhone. I guess it's safe to say that we're pretty much an Apple family. We've got the iPads, the iPhones. I think we've got an iMac at home. I still have a regular PC that I use myself, but they built a better mousetrap. Liz and I have this argument all the time. But I'm going to find myself going to the Genius Bar here shortly because of this thing they've admitted that they put some faulty batteries in so that if your battery was dying all the time, you'd want to go out and buy a new iPhone. And they're apparently replacing some of those for a small fee, some reduced fee. So I'm going to have to go get a new battery for my phone.
For a fee?
Yeah, well, they're not doing it for free, but it's a reduced price. They'll give you a new battery. Because if I pay $30 for a battery, it's cheaper than spending $600 on a new phone, right?
Or they could admit that they messed up and give you a free battery since they kind of...
They also had the software problem where some of the older phones were slowing down in processing, so you'd want to go buy a new phone. So they're fixing some of this, but there's still some pretty major lawsuits pending, and Michelle's going to talk about one of the latest ones coming up. Also in the next hour, we're going to talk to, from what I've seen, the first Missouri state legislator to specifically call for the unqualified resignation of Governor Greitens. I've seen some who said if he's guilty of these allegations, he should resign, but this is the first one I've seen say you need to resign now based on what's going on. So we'll talk to her coming up at the top of the 2 o'clock hour, so stick around for that, please. Right now, I'm going to get to your phone calls, 314-969-9797. Let me invite Dave Workman into the show. Dave is with gunmag.com. Thegunmag.com is the website and covers issues relating to the Second Amendment. Dave, how are you?
Well, I'm sneaking by for an old guy.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I don't know where you're located physically. Are you in D.C.?
No, I'm in Bellevue, Washington right now at the offices. This is what we laughingly refer to as the Western Bureau of the Gun Mag, which is based in Buffalo, New York.
So is it any warmer there than it would be in Buffalo, New York right now?
A little bit.
Okay,
but,
good.
It's all relative.
So I told folks earlier who were listening that there is a case that has worked its way up to the Supreme Court. A gun shop owner is involved in this, trying to, I don't know, force some common sense, some adherence to the spirit of the Second Amendment in where he can operate his gun shop. Tell us more about this case.
Well, it's an interesting case. It involves the Second Amendment Foundation and Cal Guns Foundation, some other gun groups down there. they have applied for review before the U.S. Supreme Court. This happened down in Alameda, where I guess all things strange sometimes happen. I don't know, but these three guys want to operate a gun shop, and Alameda sort of zoned them out of being able to open a gun shop down there in a particular area. And I guess the long story short, I'll give you the 25-cent tour here. The appeal to the Supreme Court is asking the court to review whether somebody can be zoned out of doing business as a gun shop in the United States. This seems like it runs counter to the Second Amendment and common sense. And if it throws the door open, which the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has actually done this, to allow local governments to essentially zone somebody out of business, this could happen anywhere. So they've applied to the High Court for a review of this case. Now, a 3-judge panel had come down on the side of the gun shop people, but then it went back for what they call an en banc hearing before a full 9 or 11-person panel on the appellate court. Of course, this being the Ninth Circuit, they voted against the gun shop owner and the Second Amendment, and now here we are. We're hopefully looking at a case, at least according to the Second Amendment Foundation, that it's going to wind up before the U.S. Supreme Court. And it's a toss-up whether the court will take this case or not. But if it does, it's going to be kind of an interesting case to watch.
Yeah, when I guess they are asking the Supreme Court to review it, is it a decision they would have to make during this term?
They probably would. It'd come out sometime before the term ends in June. And this sort of thing is not unusual. I remember the 2008 Heller case and the 2010 McDonald case were both argued very early in the year, and yet both of those rulings came down in June. And the way the High Court often does these things is that their most controversial rulings are held off until either the day or the day before the court adjourns for the session. And I've often wondered if that wasn't designed that way to give the black robes a chance to get out of town before the people saw this stuff. But
yeah,
I think this is what will happen again.
Well, we're talking to Dave Workman, my guest from thegunmag.com. They cover a lot of issues surrounding Second Amendment rights. I know it's not the exact same issue, but I remember when the courts had to force the state of Illinois to allow concealed carry. And yet the city of Chicago still tried every loophole it could find to prevent somebody from actually opening a gun range where you could go and get qualified with the 16 hours of training they require to get your concealed carry permit. And finally, a court had to come in and bring the hammer down on them again because it became so obvious that was really their goal ultimately, was to say, well, yeah, you can have concealed carry, but, we don't have any shops that can provide you the training right now, so you're out of luck.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, those cases were all Second Amendment Foundation cases.
Okay.
And the McDonald ruling in 2010 that came down from the Supreme Court, that was a Second Amendment Foundation case. The NRA had a separate case that was also against the city of Chicago's gun ban initially, and then the NRA has had similar cases before the federal courts too. The Second Amendment Foundation, their case work has actually carved a lot of fairly new gun case law in this country.
Good.
And they're not nearly as large or certainly not as well known as the NRA, but if you look under the rug, if you look around the corner, you'll typically find the Second Amendment Foundation lurking there, and they're always waiting in the tall grass for something to come along. And
very true.
And they've been fairly successful with a lot of these cases.
I saw earlier that, and I know you and I weren't planning to talk about this today, but I saw earlier on the Daily Caller picked up a story where the Government Accountability Office did an investigation on just how easy or difficult it is to buy firearms illegally on the internet. Because, a lot of the talking points about we need new gun control measures, anybody can go out and buy a gun, the so-called gun show loophole, all of this stuff that they tout all the time. And the GAO came back and said, well, it's not so easy after all. They were unable
I wrote about that report. And you talk about wearing egg on your face. 3 anti-gun members of Congress really pulled a big stupid on that one. Be careful what you ask for; you may get it. And it really was embarrassing because I think they tried a sting via the ATF, and there were, I think, something like 72 different attempts to buy a gun online, and the majority of those, the sellers refused, and then a couple of them turned out to be attempts just to rip somebody off of their money, and there wouldn't be any gun involved at all. And one of the things that they tried in this report, according to what I understand, is that somewhere during the process they would tell the gun seller that, hey, I'm actually prohibited. I hope there's no background check here because I don't want to get delayed or denied.
Get in trouble, yeah.
At that point, these proposed sales just went south, and the door got slammed. So the funny thing about this is that the mainstream press ignored this story almost like it had the Black Plague.
Of course. Yeah, this came out in November.
Yeah.
People need to understand that.
Now, why are we hearing about it just now, about 2 months later? The reason for it is because people in, I guess, what you would call the alternative media, I'm a journalist, and, we picked up on that story and started writing, and I saw this appear in a couple of different places where other gun reporters, too, would be talking about this. And, the guns are really my beat, and when I picked up on that, I thought, hey, this is weird. Started checking around, and really nobody had reported this in the mainstream press at all. Now, if it had turned out the other way, this would have been a story that would have been on the front page above the fold of every newspaper in the country.
It's a great
point.
You
know it and I do.
It's a great point. They would have carried this like a torch if they'd gone on there and successfully bought a bunch of weapons. But here was the conclusion of the General Accounting Office. And they wrote this to Elijah Cummings, Brian Schatz, who's a senator, and Elizabeth Warren. All of our attempts to illegally purchase firearms from private sellers on the web, the surface web, were unsuccessful. And that is not a conclusion that they wanted to hear. So anyway.
Yeah.
But listen, I tell you what, Dave Workman, I appreciate your time. I'll direct people to your website to read more on your stories on this and other gun rights issues at thegunmag.com. Dave, have a great day.
You too.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, you guys, you ought to see this. What they were able to do, of course, for those of you who are not tech savvy, there is something out there called the dark web, and this is for people who really are tech savvy, who work on black computer screens with green lines of code, and they really know what they're doing. They can get into the dark web. The GAO, after numerous attempts, was finally able to purchase 2 firearms from the dark web. Out of 70 or 100 attempts, they were able to purchase 2 firearms illegally on the dark web, but on the surface web, which is what most of us see when we sign onto our browser, they were unable to buy a single weapon online illegally. So the system works, which is not what Elijah Cummings and Elizabeth Warren wanted you to know when they demanded this study. Interesting. 314-969-9797. A little later, we're going to invite Michelle Seiler Tucker to join us to talk about these lawsuits against Apple. So I hope you can stick around for that. We'll get to that around 1:42 today. And at the top of the hour, we're going to talk to a Missouri state legislator, a House member, who today has issued a call for Governor Greitens to resign over this dust-up with the affair that he has admitted to from several years ago before he took office. We'll get her on the phone and find out what that's all about. We'll get to more of your phone calls right after this.
The Mark Cox Show on FM News Talk 97.1, 98.7, AM 1490, and 97.1talk.com.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open.
Hey guys, Glover here. This Saturday at Lombardo Homes, you could win tickets to the big game through their super display crawl. Close and I will be at the Rally at Wesley location in Wentzville from noon till 2, helping you collect your stamps for the chance to win tickets to the big game. Get all the details at 971talk.com.
Let me tell you about Michael's Flooring Outlet, the specials they've got up there right now. First of all, just go to their website. Some people plan well in advance that they have to have new flooring, right? So they're budgeting for it and they're getting ready for it and they can shop around. And then there are other times when you've got some sort of a flooring emergency, maybe a pipe burst in your kitchen. You know you're going to have to get new floors. Maybe you've got an insurance claim on it. Whatever the case, doesn't matter. If it's a last-minute deal that you've got to go shop for flooring, let me recommend Michael's Flooring Outlet. If you go to their website, michaelsflooringoutlet.com, the first thing you're going to see on there is a note about the $500 off that you can get on your next flooring purchase at Michael's Flooring Outlet. So check that out, first of all. And no matter what you're looking for, new hardwood, tile, possibly some sort of laminate or whatever the flooring is you need, carpeting, they've got it in spades at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They've got tons of it. They've got their warehouse up there in Old Town St. Peter's. They've got a do-it-yourself desk there where you can go and if you're one of those handy people that can lay flooring by yourself, they've got everything you need, and if not, they've got the installers that'll put it in for you. We had a great experience when we had new carpeting put throughout our entire second floor. It was put in a day, very professional, moved all the furniture, couldn't have been happier. So go to michaelsflooringoutlet.com or visit their West County, St. Peters, North County, or Darden Prairie stores.
Hey, St. Louis, looking a little scruffy? It's time to get cleaned up at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in O'Fallon on Highway K just north of Fisey Road next to Potbelly Subs, or in Brentwood on Hanley Road just south of Highway 40 in front of Menards. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text WORK to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited. Text in the next 10 minutes and you'll also receive a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. Text WORK to 82,000. That's WORK to 82,000.
Whether you received everything you wanted for the holidays or not, now you can at Suntrup Buick GMC. Hi, my name is Ken Klein, General Manager at Suntrup Buick GMC. Visit us today and take advantage of our aggressive 2018 lease opportunities. Lease the GMC Terrain, one of our 4 family-friendly SUVs, for $99 per month, or the sporty new Buick Encore for $129 a month. Enjoy incredible pricing on all the 2017 models, like the comfortable and stylish GMC Acadia which has $13,000 off. Drive home in a rugged Sierra pickup truck with its bold styling and savings up to $10,000. I have worked at Suntrup Buick GMC for 25 years and have seen so many repeat customers coming back time and time again because we believe that from purchase to service, you deserve the best. Visit Suntrup Buick GMC today at I-70 at the Cave Springs exit in St. Peters or online at suntrupbuickgmc.com. That's suntrupbuickgmc.com.
24-month lease includes lease conquest and $1,500 down. Does not include tax, tag title, or admin fee. Offers not in combination.
Hi, I'm local tax attorney Lance Drury, and I've represented hundreds of individuals and small businesses in disputes with the IRS. So if you've been contacted for past due tax debt or haven't filed taxes in a while, contact me, Lance Drury. And because each client's case is unique, we'll meet face-to-face and go over your tax situation in detail. Together, we'll develop a strategy to resolve your tax issues. I'm experienced, I know your rights, and I'll give you honest answers. Under my 8-point plan, my firm will file the necessary forms needed to resolve your issue with the IRS, and you won't have to worry about talking to their agents. I'll negotiate on your behalf to get you the lowest settlement allowed by law. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we want to make sure that you're satisfied with the outcome. So call me now, Tax Resolution Attorney Lance Drury, 314-238-7360, or go to lancedrurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The 5th annual 97.1 School Spirit Award is back, and you could win $5,000 for your school. Log on to 971talk.com/spirit and register your school before January 21st. The top 3 schools win a cash prize. Brought to you by the 2018 Metro East Home and Garden Show.
On Twitter at MarkCox971.
I'm Chelsea Manning, and I approve this message. We live in trying times. Times of fear. Of suppression. Of hate. We don't need more or better leaders. We need someone willing to fight. We need to stop asking them to give us our rights. They won't support us. They won't compromise.
A very ominous campaign ad from Chelsea Manning, who of course had her treason sentence commuted by President Obama, not pardoned, but cut short and let out of jail after turning over all of those state secrets to WikiLeaks. They weren't real happy when WikiLeaks ended up with all that stuff from the DNC. They want to blame the Russians, all these other people. I wonder if they would have commuted the sentence of either the Russians and or Seth Rich or whoever it was who gave them the information. But that's the deal. We paid for Chelsea Manning to have a sex change operation, apparently. In case you missed that.
I'm Chelsea Manning, and I approve this message.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. What? That's the first thing I thought about when I heard that ad at the beginning. That State Farm commercial was the first thing that came to my mind.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
All right, sorry about that. I don't know that she could even hold office. She could even hold office.
Yeah,
if you're a convicted felon.
I was pointing out that up on our social wall, someone had said, how can Manning sit in on top secret Senate hearings after being convicted of leaking top secret info, which, like you said, sentence was commuted.
Not pardoned, not cleared.
It was just sped up.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the story on Chelsea Manning. I've got some more of that ad. Right now, let's go to the president live for just a second. He's speaking at a Women of America panel. And it looks like I don't know if he's talking about the tax increase. He's talking about unemployment for women. Let's listen in for just a second.
After another, now the few that haven't, they're all saying, the employers are saying, what about us? So that's going to happen. So it kicked in a lot faster than we thought. But the stock market is way up again today, and we're setting a record literally all the time. And I'm telling you, we have a long way to go. And had the other side gotten in, the market would have gone down 50% from where it was. 50% from where it was. Remember that. It was stagnant and it was going down. And all you have to do is look at the GNP from the beginning. Just take a look at that GNP. And you look at it, if it's, any way you want to look at any statistic. You could look at GDP, you could look at any statistic and take a look at where they were. But GDP in particular, it was stuck and heading down. And we took off restrictions, we took off regulations, and we still have plenty of regulations, although we're cutting a lot of them too. But you don't need 9 different regulations. We're looking now at Dodd-Frank because we have to free up so the banks can loan money to great people, because the banks haven't been able to do that. They were restricted. A person came up to me at a recent stop and said, all my life I did business with a certain bank, and now all of a sudden they can't do business with me. I've always paid my debts. I've always paid my loans. The bank loves me, but they're prohibited from doing. Now they're going to be able to do business with that person again. So we're doing a real job on it. But the regulations had a lot to do with the success. Don't let anyone kid you. Without taking off those regulations, I mean, look at what we've done just in terms of pipelines, 48,000 jobs from almost day one, 48,000 jobs on really things that were never going to get built. They weren't good. We have plants all over the country that are getting built. Toyota's now moving back. Mexico, it's very interesting. Chrysler is leaving Mexico and moving back to Michigan. You haven't heard that one. You haven't heard that one in a while.
So the president continuing to tout his tax plan. When we get to details on why he's making this appearance, I'll let you know. The Dow, by the way, 25,792. So it jumped up a couple of hundred points, hit 26,000, is now dropped down just below that. But if it breaks 26,000 by the end of the day, that'll be set some new record for the quickest 1,000-point gain. 7 days, I think it would have been. 7 business days. So let me get to a couple of phone calls here. We'll get back to more with the president if once he moves on to the issue that he's dealing with there at that speech. Who's been holding the longest? Steve. Steve, you're on the radio.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hey, good. What's up?
Hey, first thing I gotta say something real fast. With the Apple thing, I'm going to have to back Liz on this one. You shouldn't have to pay anything extra for a battery if they messed up.
Well, yeah.
Now, outside of that, the purpose of my call, anything with Lindsey Graham that Lindsey Graham's got to say, if you want to know what the truth is, just look at the opposite of whatever he's saying, and you'll find the truth. Now, I have an idea. We can send him and Dick Durbin a shirt, and I'll even go have it made. I have one myself. And it simply says, I'd rather be conservative and free than be a liberal in chains.
There you go. And Dick Durbin would tell you that.
Send them both to them, maybe toddler size for their pea brains or 5X.
Steve, you're on fire today, man. I appreciate the call.
Hey, I'm glad you took my call because my wife's going to chew my arm off again.
Tell her,
food.
Give her my best. All right.
All right, buddy. Take care.
I'll see you. Thank you very much for that. Hey, Kenneth, you're on the radio.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Mark, tell me something. I need your advice or help on this question. I thought tax reform, is it passed?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a retiree for the Postal Service, right?
Okay.
I just called down to Washington. They call it the Office of Personnel Management, the headquarters of people that are retired.
Okay.
And I asked them my net pay for February. And she gave it to me, and it's the same exact thing as January. And I said to her, I thought the tax reform was passed from President Trump, I talk basic language to them. And she says, we heard nothing of this tax reform. He said the changes are coming in February. I knew January was too early, even though he passed it around Christmas time. But I was wondering, how could I not get when I say me, I mean any postal retiree or government retiree. It's just federal tax. And she was like, had no idea.
Kenneth, how do they tax your retirement pension?
I could tell you, every month I get my retirement on the 1st, okay?
Okay.
And they take federal out, they take state out, and they take your medical coverage if you so desire to take it from them. I kept that when I was the same as when I was actually working. So there's like 3 deductions, like you would get your regular check, like you guys get it, federal, state, and medical, or any other additional thing for the spouse or whatever. And she's telling me nothing was changed. I says, what's my federal tax? And she told me 200 and whatever, and I looked at last month's statement that I get. It was to the penny. She said it.
I guess
in total shock.
I guess it's not out of the question that she doesn't know what she's talking about. But it may be that the pension system for federal or government employees is handled differently somehow. Here's what Mnuchin said on Thursday of last week. We've issued new withholding tables. It's going to take them probably a month to get them put in place. And once the new withholding tables are in place, they will withhold less tax from your paycheck.
I think you hit it on the head. So I'm looking like March or something.
It could be March. They said they thought
very legible what you're saying.
They thought that most companies would be able to institute it in February, but of course that might mean it affects the March paycheck. It just depends on how you're paid.
I was just curious. I was totally shocked, so I called either you or Jamie. The Masters would know about
well,
this.
Thank you,
why
Kenneth.
I waited for an hour. And
appreciate the compliment there. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure.
Have
Thank
a great
you,
day.
Mark.
Yep, you bet. How about that, Kenneth, elevating me to the level of Jamie Allman? That's pretty awesome. Appreciate that. All right, quick break. 314-969-9797. We're going to get back to more of our conversation here in just a couple of minutes, and we're going to invite Michelle Seiler Tucker on with us. She can address Steve's concern about these Apple phones. There's a new lawsuit pending against Apple, and we're going to find out what that's all about. Could cost them a bunch, apparently, if they get found guilty of what they're accused of. So we'll get to that. And like I mentioned at the top of the hour, 2:10, we're going to talk to one of the 2 legislators locally, state legislators, Republicans, who've now called officially for Eric Greitens to resign, just based on what's come out so far. So we'll pick her brain about that at the top of the hour. Stick around.
This is the Mark Cox Show. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. The morning sunshine will give way to plenty of cloud later today. It'll be breezy and bitterly cold with a high of 15. It'll feel as if it's below 0 throughout the day. Partly cloudy skies this evening, then clear and frigid overnight, low 8. Bright sunshine tomorrow, not as bitter in the afternoon, high 26. Thursday, sunshine and turning milder, high 43. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
The folks at Dave Sinclair have some great deals for you right now. They've still got a few 2017s on the lot, but you're going to have to go check and see what's in inventory. Good lease deals on the Jeep Compass. They're calling it Jeep Days, so you want to get out there and find out what that's all about. The 2018 Jeep Cherokees, 0% financing. That's a great deal. You know that. $4,000 combined cash allowance plus some bonus cash. The details are at the dealership. So go talk to Dave Sinclair, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram out in Pacific. And no matter what you're looking for, great. They've got some 2017 Ram 1500 models left. They're giving you 20% off MSRP. Plus, you get the Dave Sinclair promise that if it's not right, they're going to make it right. And you get that limited lifetime powertrain warranty that is the best in the business. Go say hi to the folks at Dave Sinclair in Pacific, right off of Old 66 there. They call it West Osage Street now in Pacific. About an exit past Six Flags. It'll be worth your trip. Go visit Dave. DaveSinclairDodge.com.
Watch the Mark Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
Black Rifle Coffee, a company created by Special Forces veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan that spent their time between cups of coffee stacking bodies so you could enjoy your mocha latte. Hi, this is Sig Glockencolt from Tactical. We're proud to be the first and only dealer of Black Rifle Coffee in St. Louis. Stop by and get yourself a cup or a bag of Freedom Fuel, coffee or die, or caffeinated as fuck. Available in whole bean, ground, or K-Cups. We promise you won't be embarrassed by some liberal putz when ordering. Tactical Highway 70 in St. Peters or shop.tactical.com.
Debt can be stressful, especially credit card debt with its outrageous interest rates and fees. Did you know, unless you pay your bill in full, you get charged interest, even on the part of the bill you do pay? Don't take my word for it. It's right there on your statement. I'm Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. You don't need to live under the stress of debt when there is a very good chance I can help you get rid of it by using the equity in your home. Consolidating that debt into a fixed-rate, tax-deductible loan in the threes will free up hundreds of dollars every month. And we can do this without adding any closing costs onto your loan. Plus, you'll skip 2 months of mortgage payments. Don't wait any longer. Call now for a straightforward review of your loan options. The call is free, but the savings could be life-changing. Remember, whether you are buying, refinancing, or need to consolidate debt, call me, Michael Mohan, 314-336-6050, 314-336-6050, or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, APRs in the threes, NMLS 250353224143.
Are you taking Viagra or Cialis for ED? Lions Drug now has a huge low-cost alternative called Sildenafil.
Get Sildenafil, the same active ingredient in Viagra, for less than $2 a pill, a cost savings of over $50 per dose. A prescription from your doctor is required, and free discreet mailings included. Visit Lions Drug online at lionsdrug.com.
So what are you waiting for? Call us today at 844-676-2247.
Hey everybody, Allman here for Mark and Neil Gelman of Coldwell Banker Premier. To get top dollar for your home and sell it quickly, you need an agent who can effectively market your home. The Gelman team has an aggressive marketing strategy that creates an auction-like effect, so competing buyers drive up the price of your home.
The marketing strategy is what enables them to sell more houses over $500,000 than any other local agent. They offer the home sale guarantee where they buy your house if it doesn't sell by the deadline, so you know your home won't be sitting on the market for months.
The Gelman team specializes in the Highway 40 corridor, but they also serve St. Charles County and North Jefferson County. They sell a ton of homes in my Clayton hood, and I definitely would use them if I had to sell my own.
I've known Mark and Neil for years, and I know their system works. Many of my listeners have used them and had a great experience. Call them today, 314-336-1991. That's 314-336-1991, or online at soldinmo.com. That's soldinmo.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
All I ever hear about is, the people on Medicaid and the illegal aliens.
Mark Levin.
I don't care about that anymore. We want the government to get the hell out of our face and allow us to buy whatever damn insurance we want.
Weeknights, 9 to midnight.
On FM News Talk
97.1.
Listening to the Mark Cox Show. Find everything Mark Cox at 971talk.com/Cox.
When you get the vibration, won't do you no good. It won't do you no good. You better start rolling when you hear me.
Can a deal be done with the president who has said what he said and with whom you've had this very public back and forth?
Yes. If enough Republicans will step up and say, we do not subscribe to these views as expressed last week, we see a different America, and we're willing to show it with our votes, yes, we can do it.
Yeah, Dickie Durbin there talking about exactly why he walked out of a private meeting with the president and screamed racism. because he wasn't getting what he wanted, and he realized he wasn't going to be able to sneak that pile of steamy, you-know-what, under the president's nose, because it was an amnesty bill that he and Lindsey Graham tried to sneak through in two parts as a DACA fix. And now he wants the public to put pressure on the president to give him what he wants. But that's all this is about. It was a stunt. So he showed his rear end again this morning in this hearing with the Department of Homeland Security. And we'll get to more on this coming up in the next hour. In case you didn't hear it, I want you to hear some of it. By the way, the Twitter poll is up and running. I apologize I didn't get to this earlier. Tony Colombo has got it posted. You can go to Tony Colombo, at Tony Colombo 971. You can go to @MarkCox971. Here's what it is. Democrats are threatening to a government shutdown if a clean DACA fix is not part of the budget deal. So our Twitter poll today wants to know, what do you think Republicans should do? Make a deal, shut it down, never trust Democrats again, or B and C. So you get on there and vote. We'll have the results for you tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk to Tony Colombo about it more a little later this hour. So stick around for that. All right. Be sure and hashtag MCS971 so that your answers pop up on our social media wall here in the studio. Michelle Seiler Tucker is my guest right now. She is an author. She's a leading business analyst. She teaches people how to buy and sell their own businesses, among many other things. Michelle, how are you?
I'm great, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to have you on the show again.
Thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. You're like the only one.
Oh, is that right? Well, good. I'm glad we got that right. That makes me feel good. You know, I was lamenting earlier that we're sort of an Apple family. I have an iPhone. I think all my kids have one. We've got iPads at the house. We've got MacBooks. So we're kind of committed to this whole Apple thing, but they're taking a little bit of heat right now for I assume some bad decisions that they've made here.
Well, they are, and a lot of countries and a lot of people are starting to take a bite out of the apple because they're getting pretty annoyed with what Apple is doing and what's going on. And I too am in an Apple family. I have lots of iPhones and iPads. And my daughter, who's 7 years old, has an iPad, and she's had one since she was 2.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's you kind of get hooked on it, and then once that technology is part of your life, it's a little irritating to find out that the systems were kind of designed to slow down in the phone, so you might need a new one, or the battery wasn't designed to last 4 or 5 years; it was designed to last 2 till the next iPhone came out. What are the? I know they're offering a fix to some of this, but part of what they've been accused of is not illegal, right here in the States. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's not illegal here in the States, but that doesn't mean that they can't be sued for other reasons in the States. But in France, it's definitely illegal, and they could get some major fines. Plus, key executives could go to jail over this in France.
Wow!
Because it's illegal in France.
So what? The country of France has sued Apple, and what is the fallout if they're found guilty of what they've accused them of?
Well, I mean, what's the fallout? Key executives could lose their job. They could lose market share. The stock prices can go down. They could lose business. I mean, there could be a tremendous amount of fallout.
But didn't I read that there was potentially a fine of like 5% of their profits or something in the country?
Yeah, and when you hear 5% of their profits, you think, gosh, who cares? Apple's making so much money. 5%, is it really going to hurt them? But at the end of the day, 5% can be really huge for this multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Well, sure it can, and you hope maybe they've learned a lesson from that.
Well, you hope. It's not just the battery; it's the battery. The phone slows down. I mean, my phone messages that I've had. I have people that I message back and forth to, and I've had messages on there that go back as far as 2 and 3 and 4 years. Just automatically deleted. I didn't delete it. All of my messages are gone with some of my friends and colleagues and, business partners. And then the new iPhone 7, of course, you can't even use the regular jack. You can't use a regular cord. Plus, you can't use a regular headset jack that you've used on all of your other iPhones. So now you have to go out and buy more accessories.
I said to my wife many times, what they've done is build a better mousetrap, and then we all got addicted to it, is basically what it is.
Yes, because, at that point, I could have said, you know what, enough of this. I'm just going to go get an Android or something like that. But you're right, we're addicted to it. And we all FaceTime each other. We all message each other, and it's less expensive to do that. It's a lot more convenient. And it's like crack.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't do crack, though.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Michelle, what is the title of your book? You've got a book out teaching people how to sell their business. Is that correct?
Yes, I have a few books out, but the one that you're referring to is called Sell Your Business for More Than It's Worth. And this is where we teach business owners to plan their exit strategy pretty much from day one.
Okay.
And to determine what their end game is, what they want to sell their business for. So if they want to build a $20 million company, they need to know what a $20 million company looks like. They need to know who their buyer is going to be.
Sure.
And they need to know what the numbers need to look like. So that's what I do, is I teach people how to build their business to sell for their desired price tag when they're ready.
And to put good batteries in to begin with, right?
Yeah. Put good batteries in to begin with. Here's the problem with Apple. Apple has such a huge, loyal clientele. Why try to nickel and dime us?
Yeah.
Why not just do business the right way, provide superior customer service, provide a superior product that lasts, and we'll keep coming back and back and back, how many people sit in line to get the newest and latest and greatest iPhone?
I'm with you. I don't think you could chase my wife away from Apple with a switch, but she's going to go back again and again. Listen, Michelle, I'm out of time. I appreciate your time. You can go to SeilerTucker.com as the website if you want to find out more about Michelle's book. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Mark.
All right. Take care of yourself. You bet. Appreciate getting you on here. So, yeah, there you go. She's right. You get hooked on it, and most Apple people are very loyal. And they make fun of people like Liz that have Androids, don't we?
And then we make fun of you for the
I know that you do. I know. You'll make fun of me when I have to go stand at the Genius Bar for 2 hours trying to get a new battery, right?
That's just a waste of time.
Yeah. All right. 314-969-9797 in the next hour. One of the state legislators who today issued a call for Eric Greitens to resign over the controversy, the Channel 4 story that kicked it all off, the coverage that's happened since regarding his affair and other scurrilous allegations. We'll talk to her and take your phone calls right after this.
This hour of the Mark Cox Show brought to you by Thomas Helbig, the official St. Louis financial advisor of the Mark Cox Show.
Save now at RP Lumber on Best Comfort Heaters. Now through January 28th, save big on a large selection of Best Comfort Heaters for home or work. RP Lumber is your local hometown store that has everything you need for small repairs, room remodels, or new construction. We pride ourselves on our experienced and skilled workers that are always here to help. Shop one of our 18 well-stocked locations or online at rplumber.com. RP Lumber. Best service, best value.
At Ameren, Missouri, we are committed to making our community a better and brighter place to live. And to us, that means even more than ensuring the lights come on when you flip a switch. It means making our green spaces greener by planting trees and picking up trash, coaching kids in everything from math to sports, and offering a helping hand to those in need. Volunteering in our community to brighten up the lives of those who live here. That's energy at work. Learn more at amerenmissouri.com/community.
At last, the new year is here. What do you see ahead? Happy days and carefree nights?
Credit card bills?
Right, credit card bills.
Looking at months of high-interest credit card bills from all that generous holiday gift-giving? Time to go to Lightstream and get a low-interest rate credit card consolidation loan. Act now to get an even lower rate with our special radio listener discount. Go to lightstream.com/news to get rates as low as 5.39% APR with autopay. And with average interest rates on credit cards at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands of dollars in interest. Makes the new year a whole lot brighter, doesn't it? The application takes minutes online. There are no fees, and you can have funds as soon as today. So if you have good to excellent credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount at lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/news. lightstream.com/news.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.5% autopay discount available only when you select autopay prior to loan funding. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit Lightstream.com for important information about limits on Lightstream loans and same-day funding.
Ever had an obstructed view at a show or an event?
This is so amazing.
What's so amazing? I can't see around this concrete column. That's what it's like relying on checking your credit to protect you from identity theft. You get a limited view.
She looks beautiful.
Who looks beautiful? You might detect credit changes, but you can miss threats, like someone getting an online payday loan in your name or selling your personal information on the dark web.
Did you see that?
See what? The concrete? With LifeLock, you can see more. We use proprietary technology to detect a range of identity threats, and if you have a problem, a U.S.-based identity restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock can alert you to threats you could miss.
Told you this was worth seeing.
You are killing me. Memberships start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Now get 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code NEWS. That's promo code NEWS. LifeLock. More detection, more protection.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
The Mark Cox Show, brought to you by Thomas Helbig, the official St. Louis financial advisor of The Mark Cox Show.
Find everything Mark Cox at 971talk.com/Cox. FM News Talk, 97.1.
Beat the clock in Congress. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Both sides of the aisle say nobody wants a government shutdown, but Washington's still focused on the controversy over last week's immigration meeting at the White House. Fox's Jared Halpern, live on Capitol Hill.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen was asked multiple times at a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing about the reported expletive used by President Trump to describe other countries.
There was a lot of rough talk by a lot of people in the room.
Nielsen says she did not hear President Trump use the word he's reported to have said by other senators who attended that meeting. Striking a deal on DACA to extend deportation protections for hundreds of thousands of young immigrants brought to the country illegally as children remains in doubt, and with it, prospects that lawmakers can find enough support to pass a short-term spending plan before a government shutdown Friday night. Lisa.
Meantime, Jared, President Trump saying moments ago he hopes immigration issues can be solved.
If the Democrats really wanted to, they could, but they really sometimes don't want to. But we're working on it, and we'll get it done one way or the other, I hope.
This during a surprise visit to a healthcare discussion led by women in his administration. The disgraced doctor who abused Olympic gymnasts, college athletes, and private patients learns his fate this week in Michigan, where so many victims want to confront him. The sentencing will take days. Fox's Jeff Manasso with this live.
He faces 40 years in prison for molesting women and girls in his role as a Michigan sports doctor who also worked with USA Gymnastics. Dr. Larry Nassar is a monster, says 17-year-old gymnast Jessica Tomashow.
He is a predator and he can't be stopped unless he is behind bars for the rest of his life.
She's one of dozens of women and girls speaking at Nassar's sentencing in Lansing and one of hundreds sexually abused by him. Olympian gymnast Simone Biles, the latest to come forward. Nassar's currently serving a 60-year prison sentence on child pornography charges. Lisa.
Thanks, Jeff. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-993-0840. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-993-0840. 800-993-0840.
97.1 News Time 2:03. Good afternoon. I'm Jason Church.
The family of a missing St. Louis musician is hoping for his safe return. Nathan Jotko has not been seen or heard from since last Thursday. He's well known on the local jazz circuit and has played with several bands in the St. Louis area. His family says that he disappeared without a trace. He drives a white 2009 Toyota Matrix with Missouri license plates WK1C2H. You're asked to call St. Louis police if you have any information as to his whereabouts. Thieves stole a trailer loaded with tools from a construction company in Jefferson County yesterday. The trailer and contents are valued at $7,000. A reward of $1,000 is offered for information on the suspects. If you know anything about this, you're asked to contact the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. The house in North St. Louis where Mark Twain's nephew lived was scheduled to be demolished yesterday, but the demolition was postponed until today. Freezing temperatures today have delayed the demolition again for the historic James L. Clemens house. This news update brought to you by RP Lumber, best service, best value.
Is your family ready for a bad cold and flu season? Knowing when it's the flu can make a big difference. The best way to tell is that the flu brings a fever, so be prepared with a thermometer you can trust. The Exergen Temporal Scanner, backed by more than 70 clinical studies.
Mark Cox here, inviting you to join me along with Mark Close and Thomas Helbig for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event Tuesday, January 30th. We'll meet at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 to reserve your seats. Here's Thomas with more.
Will you be able to retire on time and maintain the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you truly diversified or just think you are? Do you know how to structure reliable, consistent income in retirement that you'll never outlive? Do you also know the best strategy to protect your assets in volatile times and help maximize the legacy you leave your heirs? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 or older, you don't want to miss the special event. See you Tuesday, January 30th at 6:30 p.m. at the Frontenac Hilton.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, along with me and Mark Close at the Frontenac Hilton, Tuesday, January 30th at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 or visit retirementkey.com.
Close your eyes. Imagine floating in the sea. Completely let go. Serenity now. Unplug and escape to a place you've never been before. Rejuvenate your mind and body through a simple, proven holistic treatment. Serenity Now. Experience well-being and peacefulness. Relax, recover, rejuvenate. Serenity Now. FloatSpa.com.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. Square Trade does not cover loss or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to Square Trade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. Square Trade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to Square Trade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to Square Trade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. If you're like most folks, you probably spent too much money on the holidays. Now the statements are coming in the mail and you're almost scared to open them. What if I could show you a way to get rid of all your credit cards and save $500, $600, $700 a month? What if I could show you how to do this without any out-of-pocket cost and you can skip 2 months of your mortgage payments? Don't let all your 2017 credit card debt ruin your new year. Apply for a cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert, LLC, Missouri and Illinois residential mortgage licensee.
FM News Talk 97.1, The Mark Cox Show.
I want to compliment your show on how fair and level-headed everything you guys talk about.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
Maybe what we need from a conservative standpoint is
The Mark Cox Show.
I respect that. We don't agree.
Listen to both sides.
Let's get it on. Is The Mark Cox Show.
They come in many different ways, but we are on the drug problem as much as you can possibly be on it, and we're going to get it taken care of one way or the other. And frankly, the tougher we get, the better it's going to be, the faster it's going to go away. We have got to get really tough on that problem
because it's eating away at the heart of our country.
That's the president speaking just a short time ago at a women's event there in Washington. It wasn't a press conference, so to speak. He didn't take any he didn't take any questions, I should say, from the media that we could hear. But he was talking about drugs. He was talking about tax cuts, and nothing really new on DACA today. There is supposed to be a White House press briefing at around 2:30. That could be interesting because, according to the rundown that I've seen, there was some belief that the president's doctor might be there and address the media about his recent health checkup, which, could – I imagine if they did that, they'd be doing it for one reason, right? To dismiss or shoot in the foot all of these claims by Morning Schmo. I think I heard Levin calling that the other night. I like that. About questioning the president's mental state. And those are that would be the reason to kind of trot that person out, I would think, if that happens. So glad you're back with us. If you're just tuning in, probably the biggest story that you've missed today is the hearing, the hearing in D.C., where they brought Kristen Nielsen, who's the DHS secretary, in to grill her before this Senate committee. She's talking. Dick Durbin quizzed her on what she heard in that meeting and why she didn't hear the president say hellhole or whatever it was he's accused of saying, S-hole, because that's what they want to turn the focus to. They want to fire up their base. They want to anger Americans with the racism claims to distract from the fact that they're not going to get what they want on DACA. That's what this was all about from the beginning. I might even suggest the president was set up. They were clearly looking for some reason to cut his legs off on this. They're angry that he wouldn't give approval of the Gang of Eight bill, which Graham and Durbin trotted out 6 or 7 years ago and never could get to go anywhere because Americans don't want to give amnesty to people that broke into this country. And that's what Dick Durbin and Lindsey Graham want to do. They're angry that things didn't go well. They want to point fingers at Stephen Miller on the president's staff because they claim that they spoke to the president and thought they had a deal. And then when they got there, they didn't have a deal. And they were pretty angry about the whole thing. So we'll talk more about that today. I'll let you listen to a little more of what Lindsey Graham had to say and what Dick Durbin had to say, and the sort of the rude way that Cory Booker treated the secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. At one point, she rolled her eyes at him because of the way he was treating her. So we'll get to all of that for you. We'll get to Tony Colombo. We've got our Twitter poll up. Be sure and go vote in that at Mark Cox 971, at Tony Colombo 971. Basically dealing with this DACA and the threat of a government shutdown. What do you think the Republicans in Washington should do about that? So cast your vote. We'll have the results for you tomorrow here on the program, and Tony will be in later this hour to talk more about that. We've already got well over 100 votes, and we just posted it last hour. So get on there, vote, retweet, give us your thoughts on it. We'll get to more on that. Now, let me get to my guest. She is State Representative Marcia Haefner, calling us from Jefferson City this hour. And Marcia, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on today.
Well, you've made headlines today because you and State Representative Kathy Conway have come out and issued a call for Governor Greitens to step down. I'll let you explain in your own words, why you made that decision.
Well, I thought about this a lot over the weekend while things were unfolding about this unfortunate situation, and I said in my statement, when a man cheats on his wife, it's a family matter, but when the governor of Missouri cheats, and then there's allegation of victimizing the mistress, blackmail, bribes, and his taxpayer-funded employee involves herself in questioning the attorney for the accuser, I think it becomes a state matter, and I believe it really ties the hands of the governor to be an effective leader.
But at this point, they are just allegations. I mean, he's admitted to the affair, but for the rest of it, it's all sort of secondhand allegations. There's not really a victim that's come forward, probably nothing that would be prosecutable in a court of law.
Right.
I've seen
but
others.
But the process right now, I believe that the Missouri House of Representatives is going to have to decide: are we going to have a wait and see attitude, or are we going to investigate what has transpired with a committee with subpoena power, and then start dragging people into this committee hearing and get to the truth that way? I think that would be the more painful way to get to where we need to be, and I think that Governor Greitens, there's enough out there where he needs to be investigated, and I just truly believe that for everyone involved, the better option would be for him to resign and let us move forward.
So you said to get to the heart of the matter, what would you be investigating? Would you be investigating the phone call that Al Watkins, the attorney representing the ex-husband in this divorce case, with the lady the governor has admitted having an affair with? Would you be investigating the phone call that the Post covered supposedly between one of the attorneys working in his office and Al Watkins? Is that what the investigation would be?
I think that would be a big part of it. His attorney that works with him in the governor's office really has no place in questioning the attorney of the accuser within her legal duties. I question why that phone call was even made, why there was an agreement to have coffee to further discuss the matter. I think that there's a real problem with the call and the agreement to meet. Now, whether they met or not, I don't know.
Yeah, the article I read said they didn't meet, and the attorney, Miss Luetkemeyer, in this case, explained her role as trying to find out from Al Watkins if whatever he was dealing with dealt with the governor's office currently or something that was a personal matter in the past, which would kind of make sense if you were an attorney assigned to represent the governor's office. You'd kind of want to know if that was coming down the pike, wouldn't you? How is that an ethical violation, I guess?
She's a state employee, and if he has personal allegations, which she said she wasn't aware of any, and then later on in that conversation, she wanted to know if she asked questions about the affair itself. So this is a personal matter with the governor that I think that a state-funded employee has no place in making that phone call.
Yeah. Well, you also mentioned in your letter, in calling for the governor to resign, and additional questions that have been brought up over text messages and things like that. So you're kind of seeing this in its entirety and not saying this just because of the affair allegation?
Yes. The affair is certainly not my business. It's not anyone's business. But when you take the questions about the attorney, when you take the questions about the dark money and the sunshine laws possibly being violated, and now there's a criminal investigation going on in the city of St. Louis, I mean, that's a lot of smoke to come to the conclusion that there's not a fire. And there's two ways to go about this. We can either investigate with subpoena power, or we can let the governor let us know what the right thing to do is.
You know, in all fairness, again, we're talking to State Representative Marcia Hafner. In all fairness, and I pointed this out last week, I smell politics a little bit in the circuit attorney in St. Louis suddenly launching an investigation into this when police agencies have not suggested that there was even a crime.
I'm sure it is political. There's There is, we're politicians. There is a lot that goes on that is political, but I think that there's enough to question whether there is more to do with ethics and honesty than just politics.
Have you gotten any response from the governor's office today?
I have not. And this has not been easy to come to this conclusion either. I take no pleasure in this at all. But what we're here to do, this has now become the distraction. I don't think anyone tonight is going to be talking about the ethics bill we're trying to get passed or the sex trafficking bill we're trying to get sent over to the Senate. It's no longer the focus of what we're here to do. This is the focus, and the sooner it ends, the better.
Well, I see part of that argument. I thought it was interesting. I read earlier that Senator Maria Chappelle-Nadal had come out and she had couched her statement a little differently, that if the allegations proved to be true, she thought the governor should reflect and make a decision whether or not he should step down. She stopped short of calling for his resignation. Mm-hmm. But there you have a state senator who endorsed the assassination of a sitting president.
Correct.
And she's still a state senator. She's still in office.
I see the hypocrisy in that, trust me, and that's something that's totally out of my control.
Well, that's true.
And I feel the same way with Representative Love's comments about his racial comments, too, that there has not been any reprimand for that. I can only speak my opinion and move on.
Well, we will be keeping a close eye on this. Marcia Haefner, State Representative, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yep, take care. Appreciate
Bye.
that. Yep, she joined Kathy Conway, the other state representative from the area, as one of two women today calling Republicans, calling for Governor Greitens to resign over this. Personally think it's premature. I've said that all along. You've got an allegation of an affair, which he's admitted to, prior to him taking office. Now, you may not agree with the fact that he did that, and you may think, well, if it was pre-election and I'd known about it, I might not have voted for him. Well, that's fair, but is it grounds for resignation or being removed from office? I don't think so. The rest of the allegations are completely unproven. There's no victim, and there's an inadmissible audio tape that couldn't be used in a court of law to begin with. So there are a lot of questions here in my mind before the governor gets convicted in a court of public opinion on whether he should lose his duly elected office over something that happened 3 years ago with the affair and allegations of something else that might have happened. Now, that said, what I keep hearing is that, well, more people could come forward. Well, maybe they could, but at this point, no one else has. And until they have, I just think it's a little premature to call to launch investigations like Kim Gardner's done in the city and to call for the resignation of Governor Greitens over all this. I'll get to your phone calls on it. What say you? Do you think these allegations against the governor are grounds enough to either force his resignation, to ask him to resign, or to try to go through House impeachment hearings, for that matter? It's probably the wrong term, to try to force him to leave office? I'll get to your calls on it. 314-969-9797.
Mark Cox Show on FM News Talk 97.1, 98.7, AM 1490, and 97.1talk.com.
Holman here. You can win tickets to see Alabama with special guest Montgomery Gentry live on their Southern Drawl Tour this Saturday, January 20 at the Family Arena. Listen to the show this week or go to 971talk.com for your chance to win.
Hey, time for you to find out what it is Dr. Eric Naputi is up to. I can tell you what he's up to. He's one of those people who can change your approach to wellness. And if that seems like a foreign concept to you, if your New Year's resolution meant losing weight or maybe trying to eliminate diabetes or get off medications or getting rid of knee, shoulder, back pain, whatever the case may be, you need to listen up. So the Cause to the Cure with Dr. Eric Naputi is a common sense approach to health and wellness. He does have a gift. If you've talked to him, you'll understand what I'm talking about, at helping you see what's possible with your health. So coming up Thursday, the 18th of this month, at Andre's on Telegraph in South County, he's going to be talking about this, natural solutions to health issues. It's a free event, right? You have to register to attend. So if it's whether it's weight loss or pain management or whatever you're dealing with, you need to go listen to this presentation. They'll feed you. And it's free, but you have to register. So go to NaputiWellness.com and click on the events tab. Again, that's NaputiWellness.com.
Hey, St. Louis, looking a little scruffy? It's time to get cleaned up at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in O'Fallon on Highway K just north of Fisey Road next to Potbelly Subs, or in Brentwood on Hanley Road just south of Highway 40 in front of Menards. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Brian Kilmeade here. Data breaches are commonplace now. They have widespread effects too, and all networks are vulnerable to cybersecurity threats. Don't wait to find out if your network security system works. My friends at Network Technology Partners can help your company reduce the likelihood of an attack, making your environment more difficult to penetrate. Cyber threats continue to increase in frequency and grow in complexity. You need an integrated solution to help prevent, detect, and respond to threats in an orchestrated manner. Network Technology Partners can solve or prevent network security issues for your business. They've been working with companies like yours since 1999. Now, NTP will assess your organization and help to set up a plan of action for use before the breach occurs. This allows you to have a structured, quick response to any breach. My friends at NTP can help you customize the best approach to meet your compliancy requirements and your budget. Call 314-458-4995 or visit ntpcybersecurity.com. Tell them Brian Kilmeade sent you.
Hey, Tim Jones here for Universal Windows Direct. It's the season of giving, but that doesn't mean you should be heating the outside more than the inside of your home. You do not have to suffer through one more winter in a cold and drafty home. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Universal Windows are specifically made to perform in our unpredictable climate. They have this cool aerospace technology, Super Spacer, keeps the edge of the glass warmer, holds the window seal longer, and helps the windows last up to 5 times longer than windows without it. You get the best windows for your home within your budget. They perform better. They last longer. Plus, they back it up with a true lifetime warranty for as long as you own your home and 30 years to the next homeowner. It's not too late to make sure you're comfortable this winter, and Universal Windows Direct is making it easy with this great offer. For every window you buy, the next window is free. No limits, 0% financing for 36 months, plus free installation. Call to schedule your free in-home estimate today, 314-878-0300, 314-878-0300, or go to universalwindowsstlouis.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
At Ameren, Illinois, safety comes first. So before you start that landscaping project or install that new fence, call 811 to have underground gas lines and other utilities clearly marked. Because no outdoor project is worth getting hurt over. We're here to help get the job done safely so you can get back to enjoying your great outdoors. Ameren, Illinois. Energy at work.
I'm Brian from 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Neither rain nor sleet nor gloom of night will keep us from hauling away your junk.
How about a flood?
Not even that.
Tornado?
Nope.
Blizzard?
Nope. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough.
What are you trying to say?
When you've got junk that needs to disappear, all you have to do is point. Don't worry about how or if we can get there. We can. And we will.
I love working with these guys.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Oh, we got big surprises.
Weeknights 7 to 9.
I just loved it. And I dream it. It was something that was... I can't.
Sean Hannity.
Wait till you hear what we're doing next week.
On FM News Talk, 97.1. You're listening to The Mark Cox Show. Follow Facebook.com/The Mark Cox Show.
Tonight News 4 is tracking new developments in the investigation into Governor Eric Greitens. That has been spurred by allegations he threatened blackmail to hide an affair. The attorney for the ex-husband at the center of this case tells us he has turned over evidence to the authorities. Meanwhile, the governor has canceled planned public appearances regarding a plan to cut taxes.
Yeah, that's Channel 4 following up on their story, continuing to use the blackmail allegation angle and all of that, even though it's all third-party hearsay at this point. You know, I don't know if you saw it or not, but the supposed victim in all of this issued a statement saying that it was very disappointing that her ex-husband betrayed her confidence by secretly, without her knowledge, recording a private and deeply personal conversation. You know, somebody pointed out to me last week in an email that they felt that she had been victimized twice. If she was victimized by Greitens, that would have been the first time, and this person emailing felt that she was victimized the second time by her ex. Agree or disagree, I'm just telling you. Again, they're all allegations at this point, which is why I think it's a little premature. But the Post is reporting now that a third Republican House member has come out and called for the governor to resign. The other one is a guy named Steve Cookson from Poplar Bluff. I'm unfamiliar with him, but that would make 3 Republican House members who've come out and called for his resignation. Let me get to the phones on this and find out what people are thinking here. Sandy, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
The reason I called was first of all, I believe in innocent until proven guilty, but what I told your screener was that if the representative that phoned in really is interested in moving forward, then maybe she should think that perhaps we could all move forward if people like her didn't keep jumping in and stirring the pot. And that's my comment.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the phone call. Let me get to Kevin. Kevin, you're on the air.
Yeah, morning, Mark. Afternoon, Mark.
Howdy.
Listen, they keep saying distraction. This is only a distraction if they want to make it a distraction, Mark. You know what they're afraid of? They're afraid of investigating this, because they won't find anything in it. They won't be able to find anything to prosecute him in. And that's what they're afraid of. They want to stop this from being investigated. They want to make this call. They want to make the judgment, and then they want the governor to pressure him to have him step down. This is absolutely ridiculous, Mark. Accusations is all it is. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, you bet, Kevin. Thank you. You know what else? It strikes me as a little odd. I mean, the timing strikes me as a little odd. The story's been around for a long time. The former Democrat chair, Temple, who is supposedly been behind some of this, claimed that this story was shopped to him prior to the election last year, and there wasn't enough evidence. They didn't think at the time to do anything with it. Still not, in my opinion, enough evidence to have done as much with it as they have, other than the admission of the affair. But the timing is interesting. If they've known about this for a year, why is it all coming out now? The governor has some pretty innovative is one word for it, ideas when it comes to tax cuts, right? And tax credit programs that he may be interested in eliminating. And you have to wonder if that's spurring any of the bluster. I'm not saying specifically that I know that, but you have to wonder if there's not more to this of suddenly wanting this governor out of office. Joe, you're on the radio.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Great show. I expect Democrats to come out. They're at war with us. They've been at war with us. I expect them to come out and do what they can to destroy us personally. But what really kills me is Republicans. They know this too, and yet here are 3 of them coming out against their own governor, their duly elected governor, and without any evidence in front of them, there was only one Jesus Christ, Mark. We are all sinners, and for them to come out and expect our governor to resign over this is outrageous.
Well, I think it's a little premature. I am surprised that members of his own party are already calling for it. I am.
Didn't the Democratic threaten to kill our president, and he's still a sitting member of our state Congress or Senate?
I pointed out that hypocrisy a minute ago to Marcia Hafner, who acknowledged that although it was over in the Senate and she didn't have anything to do with it, she was that she saw that point that lady's still a sitting senator, although she didn't have any direct control over it. But you're right, Joe. It's a good point, and I appreciate you making that. I tell you what. I'm going to get to some more of your phone calls here, I promise, so please bear with me. I'm looking at Sarah Huckabee Sanders right now, who's just started the White House press briefing. The president's physician, who just got done doing, I guess, an examination of the president's health, Dr. Tubb, is about to take the podium in the White House press room. And I would assume we'll announce, it's Dr. Jackson, I'm sorry, he'll announce his assessment of the president's medical fitness and maybe take some questions from the media. So hopefully we'll get a few more details, and maybe this just blows out of the water, all of this nonsense on some channels in the left-wing media trying to suggest that there's something wrong with the president. Let's go ahead and go to this live for a moment. Please, Liz.
However, it would be an error to view that exam and Dr. Jackson's assessment as an isolated event when in practice it is an ongoing process. Far more important to a meaningful assessment of the president's fitness for duty is the doctor's evaluation, observations, interaction, conversations, examination during the remaining 364 days of the year. Dr. Jackson and his team have been doing precisely that from the moment Donald J. Trump was elected. Beginning on November 9th, 2016, the members of the White House Medical Unit began shadowing the new president-elect figuratively Velcroed to his side 24/7. On January 20th, 2017, Dr. Jackson became that Velcro. Dr. Jackson's office is one of only a very few in the White House residence proper and is located directly across the hall from the president's private elevator. On any given day, the physician's office, as it is known, is generally the first and last to see the president. Dr. Jackson has built and leads an organization that is better than any other in history. I know that. I, as physician to the president, was well served by this president's doctor. More importantly, President and Mrs. Bush were well served by Dr. Jackson, as were President and Mrs. Obama. In keeping with his oaths, I have every reason to believe that Dr. Jackson will well and faithfully discharge the duties of his office, and that President and Mrs. Trump, the office of the presidency, and the country will be well served because of it. Thank you, Brigadier General Dr. Richard Tubb, for that background and that information. And with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Jackson. And as always, if you could please keep your questions on topic. And after Dr. Jackson finishes, I'll come back up to address any of the questions of the day. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, so to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the summary of the president's physical. And so I'll just read through this, and then after I'm done reading this, immediately after the brief, we'll make this available to everyone exactly as I've read it here, and then I'll take a few questions. So start with. President Donald J. Trump has completed his first periodic physical examination as President of the United States. I performed and supervised the examination with appropriate specialty consultations and diagnostic testing. The exam was conducted January 12, 2018 at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. The purpose of the exam was to provide the public with an update of the President's current health status and to ensure the President continues to enjoy all the benefits of good health. This examination focused on evidence-based health screening and disease prevention. With President Trump's consent, I released the following health information. Vitals as follows. Age 71 years and 7 months at the time of the exam. Height 75 inches. Weight 239 pounds. Resting heart rate 68. Blood pressure 122/74. Pulse oximetry 99% on room air. Temperature was 98.4. Physical examination by system to include any studies that were done by system. Eyes, the president's uncorrected visual acuity is 20/30 bilaterally with corrected visual acuity of 20/20 bilaterally. His visual fields were normal. Fundoscopic exam was normal bilaterally. His intraocular pressures were normal, and no ocular pathology was discovered. Head, ears, nose, and throat, normal exam of the head, ears, nose, mouth, and throat. Dental exam, he has healthy teeth and gums. There were no other dental findings. Neck, normal thyroid exam, no noted lymphadenopathy. Auscultation of his carotid arteries were normal. Pulmonary exam, his lungs were clear to auscultation. A screening low-dose CT of the chest demonstrated no pulmonary pathology. Cardiac exam, heart exam was normal. Regular rhythm, no murmurs or other abnormal heart sounds were noted. His ECG, or commonly EKG, was normal sinus rhythm with a rate of 71, had a normal axis, and no other significant findings. He had a transthoracic echocardiogram done, which demonstrated normal left ventricular systolic function, an ejection fraction of 60 to 65%, normal left ventricular chamber size and wall thickness, no wall motion abnormalities. His right ventricle was normal. His atria were grossly normal, and all valves were normal. He had an exercise stress echocardiogram done, which demonstrated above average exercise capacity based on age and sex, and a normal heart rate, blood pressure, and cardiac output response to exercise. He had no evidence of ischemia, and his wall motion was normal in all images. Gastrointestinal exam. He had a normal exam, no masses, no hepatomegaly or splenomegaly. He had a normal optical colonoscopy done in 2013, June of 2013, that demonstrated no polyps or abnormal findings, and because of that, a repeat colonoscopy was not indicated at this time and will be deferred until his next periodic physical exam. Genitourinary exam was normal. Extremities and musculoskeletal, normal throughout. Full range of motion in all joints. He had strong distal pulses and good capillary refill in all extremities. He had no swelling or edema. Neurological exam, examination of the cranial nerves, cerebellar function, deep tendon reflexes, motor function, and sensory system were all normal. A cognitive screening exam using the Montreal Cognitive Assessment was normal with a score of 30/30. Dermatologic exam, normal, no evidence of melanoma.
All right, that's Rear Admiral Dr. Ronnie Jackson, physician to the president, was apparently the physician to President Obama, and before that, President Bush. So they wanted to throw that out there to make sure you didn't think they brought in a ringer. And normally, you know how that's handled? A press release is issued that said the president just had his exam. He's 100% healthy. But in this case, they had to trot the guy out here to talk to the media because of this nonsense about his mental health. It just shows you what's going on in the left wing of this country. That they're crazed. They'll stop at nothing to try to tear down this president. You know what they'll come up with today, don't you? You know what they're going to claim that he's overweight, number one, because he's 6'2", 240 pounds. No, he said he's 75 inches tall. Unless I did my math wrong, that's 6 feet 2 inches tall.
You are probably correct.
239 pounds with a normal colonoscopy.
Yeah.
So they're going to say that he's an overweight perfect ass. That's what they're going to come up with. But by the time MSNBC gets done with this, despite what you just heard, and I wanted to let him report it live. You're listening to it live. The president's in perfect health, passed all of the screenings, the mental health screenings, all of it.
And above average physical fitness.
Thank you. You heard it here first, live on the Mark Cox Show. Now, that segment ran over a little bit. I do want to get back to your phone calls, including your thoughts on these calls for the governor to resign. 314-969-9797. All that and more right after this.
This is the Mark Cox Show. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. The morning sunshine will give way to plenty of cloud later today. It'll be breezy and bitterly cold with a high of 15. It'll feel as if it's below zero throughout the day. Partly cloudy skies this evening, then clear and frigid overnight, low 8. Bright sunshine tomorrow, not as bitter in the afternoon, high 26. Thursday, sunshine and turning milder, high 43. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
So between now and just the end of this month, so between now and Saturday the 27th, you could go to the Range St. Louis West, and between now and then you could learn about basic hand-to-hand self-defense. You could learn what to do in the event that you're ever carjacked. I mean, you hope these things won't happen, but you need to be prepared. Or maybe you're a new gun owner and you just want to go through an orientation class, or you want to learn basic handgun skills. All of these classes are coming up between now and the end of the month. And then starting in February, they've got their concealed carry permit classes and basic handgun skills. You name it. Girls just want to have guns. They'll have another one of those coming up Wednesday, February 21st. All of these training classes are available online at therangestl.com. You've heard me say it before. All training is not created equal. At the range, this is part of what they do to give back to the community, to be part of the community. Where else do you go to learn these skills on your schedule? You figure out what works for you. You can go online. You can sign up online. You can pay online if that's what you want to do. Or you can just go visit them in person at 14803 Manchester Road out there in Baldwin across from Velasquez Park. Find out more about the beautiful indoor shooting range they have. Find out more about membership for as little as $25 a month, and you get a lot of discounts that go along with that. Again, The Range St. Louis West. The website's easy to remember, therangestl.com.
Watch the Mark Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
If you've been contacted for past due tax debt, garnishments, levies, and liens, remember the Constitution affords you due process before this can happen. Hi, I'm local tax attorney Lance Drury, and I've helped hundreds of individuals and small businesses resolve their disputes with the Missouri Department of Revenue and the IRS. I have more than 30 years of legal experience, and I know your rights. Schedule your appointment today, and let's meet face-to-face to go over my 8-point plan. My strategy is to get you the lowest settlement allowed by law. My firm and I will handle the filing and negotiations for you or on your business's behalf. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we want to make sure that you're satisfied with the outcome. So call me now, Tax Resolution Attorney Lance Drury, at 314-238-7360, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. That's Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Debt can be stressful, especially credit card debt with its outrageous interest rates and fees. Did you know, unless you pay your bill in full, you get charged interest, even on the part of the bill you do pay? Don't take my word for it. It's right there on your statement. I'm Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. You don't need to live under the stress of debt when there is a very good chance I can help you get rid of it by using the equity in your home. Consolidating that debt into a fixed-rate, tax-deductible loan in the threes will free up hundreds of dollars every month. And we can do this without adding any closing costs onto your loan. Plus, you'll skip 2 months of mortgage payments. Don't wait any longer. Call now for a straightforward review of your loan options. The call is free, but the savings could be life-changing. Remember, whether you are buying, refinancing, or need to consolidate debt, call me, Michael Mohan, 314-336-6050, 314-336-6050, or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, APRs in the threes, NMLS 250353224143.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, call 1-800-900-2440. Seating is extremely limited. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. That's 1-800-900-2440. That's 1-800-900-2440.
Jamie Allman in the morning.
Hey, Wednesday, it's a word that ends in hole and begins with R. It's about where Democrats are going. Plus, Weber and Kennedy.
On FM News Talk
97.1. You're listening to The Mark Cox Show. Follow Mark on Twitter at MarkCox971.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
All right. So they went to the media to start asking questions about the president's physical. And they wanted, they're digging down on his cholesterol numbers. And they're asking questions about his blood pressure. And, you know, it's getting silly. I'm sitting here watching it in the break, wanting to know about whether or not he has dentures. I mean, is he George Washington? Are they made out of wood? Or I mean, come on. Who cares?
Did you see what the doctor said right before they started asking questions?
What did he say?
He goes, just so you know, if any of you fall ill or pass out, I'll be the one taking care of you. With that, go ahead and ask me your question.
Actually, we captured what he said.
You need to get your head out of your butt, focus on the real issues.
I'm just telling you. That's what he was thinking.
I did not realize he was a proctologist.
That might not have been what he said, but that's what he was thinking.
I'm sure.
Let me get to some phones here real quick. Andrea, you're on the radio. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you.
I am a female Republican who happens to have some backbone, and I stand with Eric Greitens. I stand with my president. If an election happened tomorrow, I would vote for both of them hands down. Secondly, the ex-husband and the mistress, I do not trust either one of them. And I think a normal person, whether you're in an inappropriate relationship with somebody who's married, if your relationship is in trouble or if you're trying to rectify that relationship, why on God's green earth would you record any confession from your husband or your wife? That, to me, that shows intent for the husband, and the ex-husband and the wife, their intent is bad. So, I mean, I just think that's horrible. They obviously had an intent to destroy Greitens or get something from him. And if Mr. Greitens was trying to bribe her, why would he confess this relationship to his wife?
Right. No,
I would like to know what happened to common sense, decency, and it's exhausting every day between my president and what's going on with Mr. Greitens. But I definitely support him and would vote for him again, no problem. So 50% of the population is below average intelligence. Pretty much all I can say.
Andrea, thank you for the call.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Bye.
I appreciate that. You know, she brought it up. There was a poll taken January 13th and 14th asking what people thought about Eric Greitens. And his unfavorable numbers, what's your opinion? Unfavorable, 47%. Favorable, only 32%, with about 21% who had no opinion. 63% of people said they'd read or heard a lot about him, and they said most of it was negative. 72% said it was negative. And then they ask, who do you believe, the ex-husband of the woman or Eric Greitens? 38% believe the ex-husband, 37% believe the governor. Neither, 15%, and not sure, 10%. So I don't know what you draw out of that. But here's the key, in my opinion. Do you think Governor Greitens should resign from office? No, 43%. Yes, 37%. 20% unsure. So as of this latest poll here, the majority of people in the state don't think whatever these allegations are have risen to the point of requiring him to step down. Tony, thanks for the phone call.
Yes, thank you, Mark. I appreciate your show, and I go along with your previous caller, Andrea. She was spot on. I agree with everything she said. I am in favor of our governor. He should not resign. And the representative that you interviewed, she was obscure. Now she got 15 minutes of fame. It's very nice to kick somebody when it's down, and that's what they're doing. And whatever she was justifying her position for him to resign, that his office will be impaired because of this information. Well, I don't very much necessarily agree with the wrong decision that the governor made many years ago before he was even governor. But I don't think this should not distract him from being governor. I remember historically President Eisenhower, when he was commander-in-chief during World War II, he was married to Mamie, but his secretary was his mistress. Everybody knows and nobody denies it. And even Roosevelt died in the arms of his mistress in Florida. He still ran the country, and Eisenhower ran the war. It's not that I accept
or approve of it, right?
When you're married, but again, this will not impair our governor for running the state.
Tony, I appreciate you taking the time to call in and share your thoughts.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said. It happened before he was in office. I don't condone adultery by any stretch of the imagination, but anything beyond that admission, he has explicitly denied. Sue, thank you for the call. I got about a minute.
Okay, yeah, I agree with the other two callers that my question is, if it was such a big deal, then why didn't they say something before Greitens was elected? If it was that big to them, they should have done that because maybe that would have stopped him from getting elected.
Yeah, well, apparently somebody was shopping the story around back then, so they opted not to go with it because they didn't have any more proof.
Well, then it must not be true. And then as far as the president, they need to leave him alone. He's good. Leave him alone. Let him do his thing. Let him get us out of the trouble that we're in.
Sue, thank you for the call.
Thank you.
You bet. Yep. The president's doctor, by the way, just quoted as saying the president is very sharp and articulate. So there you have it. All right. Lifestyle changes would be diet and exercise. Isn't that the case for all of us?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tony Colombo, how are you?
The second question, I was watching this deal, the second question was about his mental capacity. Yeah.
Even though the guy said he scored 30 out of 30 on the test that he gave him?
Yeah.
That wasn't good enough. Must not have been the right test.
He should have scored 35 out of 30. Everybody knows you go for the bonus questions.
Oh.
Everybody will focus in on his weight. All the critics will focus in on his weight.
I brought that up earlier.
Yeah, that's what they'll go after because there's nothing else to go after.
Yeah,
because other than that, he is totally healthy. Just want to remind folks, the Mark Cox Show Twitter poll is up at Tony Colombo 971 or at Mark Cox 971 on Twitter. Today we are asking folks, since the Democrats are threatening a government shutdown if a clean DACA fix is not part of the budget deal, should the Republicans make the deal, go ahead with the government shutdown, C, never trust the Dems again, or D, B, and C. So go vote, and we will have the results tomorrow.
It's not quite an all of the above, but we're giving you that option this time. Tony, thank you.
Thank you.
Stick around for the DGS. We'll see you back here tomorrow, folks, noon to 3.
FM News Talk 97.1.
At last, the new year is here. What do you see ahead? Happy days and carefree nights?
Credit card bills?
Right. Credit card bills.
Looking at months of high-interest credit card bills from all that generous holiday gift-giving? Time to go to Lightstream and get a low-interest rate credit card consolidation loan. Act now to get an even lower rate with our special radio listener discount. Go to lightstream.com/news to get rates as low as 5.39% APR with autopay. And with average interest rates on credit cards at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands of dollars in interest. Makes the new year a whole lot brighter, doesn't it? The application takes minutes online. There are no fees, and you can have funds as soon as today. So if you have good to excellent credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount at lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/news. Lightstream.com/news.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.5% autopay discount available only when you select autopay prior to loan funding. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit Lightstream.com for important information about limits on Lightstream loans and same-day funding.